It's a new year, y'all. And for me, I've never been one to do resolutions. I do solutions. And for the past almost 2 years, I've been drinking AG1 every single day, thanks to my brother, Dr. Andrew Huberman, who turned me on to this incredible product. Every day, every morning, no exceptions. Just one scoop and a glass of water. They also make packs that you can travel with. That's been very, very helpful for me as a active touring person. Having these packets with me all around the world has been really, really helpful. So if you're a musician or somebody that is always on the go, the travel packs are incredible. AG1 delivers my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, and pre and probiotics. It's very powerful, it's very healthy, and it's really simple, man. Healthy aging shouldn't feel complicated. The thought of taking multiple supplements and all these types of vitamins and stuff and powders, it's truly exhausting for me. I've never been one to take a lot of multivitamins anyway throughout my whole life. I always prided myself in just eating vegetables and eating all the stuff I need naturally, not in a pill form. So this is incredible. It covers my nutrient gaps. It supports my mental and physical health. AG1 is hassle-free, 60 seconds every morning. It's the high-quality ingredients of pre and probiotics, adaptogens and antioxidants, and whole food sourced nutrients. I drink it every single day. Every batch of AG1s goes through rigorous testing processes, and their ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrient density. If there's one product I can suggest to you guys, is the AG1s, man. This has been a life changer for me. So go to ag1.com/OLLC and you can get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. With AG1, I know I'm getting essential brain, gut, and immune health support, vitamins, probiotics, and nutrients for the day, and it's helped my mental and physical. So if there's one thing I can recommend to you guys, it's AG1s. It's my nutritional insurance. I pride myself as almost being 54 years old, not going to the doctor all the time. Knock on wood. I've been healthy my whole life and try to strive to be a healthy person, stay young, stay full of energy, and still do the things I love that I did as a kid. That's why I still skateboard, play music, exercise. So start the year off right. AG1, ag1.com/OLLC. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. If you want to just get Liquid Death water, go to amazon.com. But for the merchandise and other cool items, exclusive items, go to liquiddeath.com/Toby and get free shipping. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. Okay, welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today I have my brother from another mother sitting next to me as my co-host for the couple of times he's been in the podcast for sure. Mr. Adam Blake, thank you for being here.
Why, thank you for having me, Toby.
And then in front of us, we have the man, the myth, the legend, who hasn't never been on the podcast. I think maybe a phone call we did, maybe. Mr. Todd Friend.
Well, thank you for having me, Toby.
Todd Friend.
Todd Friend.
Thank you for being here, Todd.
Of course.
And if you know what Todd Friend looks like, he looks exactly the same.
Yeah, he's still got the pretty good hair from the game for sure.
He's got fantastic flat top going.
I don't have dreads anymore.
Oh, yeah, you still have dreads, that's right. Outcrowd days.
Yeah.
How are you, Todd?
Good. Better. Doing better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since we saw you. Since we played in New York, I guess, like a year or two ago.
October, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's everything going in your life?
Good. Busy. Like out of nowhere, pretty much. Just been in working on drums and stuff 3 or 4 days a week.
So you work at SST with the drums?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you work with like 20 different kits?
Yep. 15
So
to
that's
20.
20 different rentable kits you give out to different artists throughout the week?
Yep.
That's cool. And then you're giving drum lessons as well too, right?
Yep.
And what do you do that at?
I have one client I've had for almost 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I have another one that I've been doing off and on for like probably 1.5 years. And then 2 other ones. One of them's like about 10-ish, and the other one's in her early 20s.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'll go a little backwards. I usually start with like you're growing up and stuff. Maybe we can start from like the last time you played with us and how things have been going with you health-wise. Because the last show we did with you, I think it was 2000 and I'm not sure when it was, in Arizona. Played that festival, Punk in the Park.
Yep.
2020, I think maybe.
21. So
2021, yeah.
Yeah.
And leading up to that show, were you having issues with your neck or shoulder or anything like that?
I don't quite remember, but I do remember a little bit of stuff with my right arm, my right shoulder, a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't debilitating or anything, but it was like, because I remember, we hadn't done a show in a year and a half or whatever.
That's right,
it was.
we didn't.
And I remember leading up to it, I think it was in May. In that April, I was starting to like, okay, it's coming, the show's coming.
Yeah. Were you practicing at home and
I
stuff?
was practicing at home.
You always practice, yeah.
Yeah, and I had to get a cortisone shot in my arm.
Before that show?
Before that show, which I had done several before, and I never thought about it. It was like...
Yeah. Is that normal for drummers to do that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like, it was offered to me, and I said, okay, sure.
Yeah.
So then that was like probably about 6 weeks before that show. And then I kept rehearsing, and then I came out here, and...
We didn't rehearse because we did the anniversary out there in Arizona first.
Yeah, yep.
We didn't practice either.
I don't think we did.
No.
Did we? Yeah.
I don't remember.
I just remember seeing you on stage and your arm like really crazy. Like you were playing on this one side. That you look really like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So we're playing that set. I go to do a role going into the chorus of 5-year plan.
Yeah.
And I remember just not being able to finish it.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, and then the rest of the set, I had trouble turning my neck. I had trouble turning my neck to the right. And I remember Moon coming back to me. She said something after the show to me, like, are you okay? And I was like, I don't know. I'm still kind of jacked up or whatever.
Yeah.
Not playing a year and a half.
I know.
But I do remember looking at the set and being like, I have 5 songs left. I have 4 songs left. 3.
I remember Attitude sounded so wild.
I couldn't go
Remember
hit
the Bad Brains
I
Attitude?
I couldn't hit the cymbal. It was like my arm, my shoulder just...
You looked like you were in pain.
I was in pain. Yeah.
And your arms were so like tense.
Right.
You've always been a tense person on stage. Let's just get straight with that. Like in the studio, you're super calm.
Yeah.
But live, you always get in your head about
Jacked
things.
up. Yeah,
so that was seeing the first time, like really like your body tightening up.
Right. And I remember like, I remember just being so like kind of confused afterward, like, because we hadn't played in a while too.
Yeah.
And, but I remember just it was all kind of a blur. Like the first part of the set, I was like, okay. And then after that, I tried to do a snare roll. I was like, okay, I'm in a little bit of trouble here. Like,
I remember people coming up to you that never said anything about H2O in their entire lives, asking me if you were okay after that show.
Yeah.
I mean, I walked to the stage and I was like, dude, what? Like, really like tripping on it.
Yeah.
It was scary.
It was really noticeable because you could see that you were going.
Yeah.
Like your arm was trying to hit the drums, but you were kind of falling short. It was like you lost coordination in one side of your body.
Yeah. I did. And
yeah.
So I come home from that. We talk on the phone. I come home from that show. And meanwhile, everything's going on with my family and my mom at the same time. So I wasn't.
I know, terrible.
I wasn't there. I was kind of half there, but I was like.
I remember that.
I had just seen my mom like in her state, and it kind of threw me off for a little bit.
I also thought your neck got hurt in the airplane too, or something. We thought that for a moment. Remember?
Yeah. So I come home from that. We're all like, I got to see what's going on. Like we're all like, get checked out, and I was like all in. I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. Like I've never had this happen before, or whatever. So I come home, doctor's like, I have all this medicine. You want to take all these pills? And I'm like, no, like, let's see what's going on, like for inflammation, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not going to fucking take, oxy this or whatever that. Like, I want to see what it really is going on. So I got a basic x-ray, and that showed like a little bit, it was all white you've probably seen x-rays. With your
I've seen x-rays,
yeah. So then where it's like white in the parts that's messed up.
Yeah, I've seen. People.
So then the MRI was like, okay, this is like a lot. I actually have a picture on my phone where it's like everything that was going on, and I have an annular tear in my neck.
Yeah.
And so also I have like some spinal stenosis, which is affecting me the level of power of hitting the drums, basically.
That's interesting. Okay.
Which I didn't know that was even
can control the power.
Yeah. And then there was some other, like I have nerve damage, like in my C6 and my C5 and all this stuff.
I feel like you stretched a lot during the career of H2O though.
Yeah, I do. I still, do every day.
It's so important for sure.
So it was like going all the way down from my C3 all the way down to my right shoulder. And then, so 3 weeks go by nothing really changed. I can't move my neck to the right. I'm like, basically, I couldn't do this, you know?
Yeah.
So then he's like, I'm going to recommend you for a procedure. And I didn't know what he was talking about. So like, I have one of them summer, I guess it was like July or August of 2021. Nothing's really improved. I tried playing, same shit. It's like,
can you make it through like a whole song?
Yeah.
Back then?
Oh, back then. I mean, I'm not like full on bashing it, like playing, but not.
It's not 100% you.
Not 100%. And then when you're with your band members or live, it's a different
totally.
thing. But I'm like playing, you know, but I'm still feeling it the next day. It's like the back-to-back thing where I would play, next day it's sore. All right, let me take 3 days off. Play, next day it's sore. Wasn't working. So I go get this first procedure. 5 a.m, I get knocked unconscious for like an hour.
You never been put under, were you? This
Never.
is the first time I think we talked about it, yeah.
They asked me if I had a will first thing in the morning, and I didn't expect it. I was like, wait.
Do you have a will, though? Well, do you have one?
Kind of, but
okay.
not.
It's important. It's important.
Are we on it?
Yeah, we're all on
it. It's important to have one, though. I have a will for sure.
Yeah. So that threw me off.
That's fucking scary.
What? Like, do I have a will?
Wait,
like,
so you went under the knife? You actually had like neck surgery?
No, procedure. I had a full on procedure twice. Well,
what kind of procedure?
What does that mean?
Just everything shot up. I have a picture where my whole neck is just needles all the way down through my shoulder.
Oh, needles. Okay.
Yeah, and I was out for probably an hour. And this was to alleviate some of the nerve damage in it. And then same thing. I don't do anything for a month. It's all, my neck's all bruised and everything after the procedure and everything. So then we do another MRI. He recommends another procedure later that summer, early fall, probably like late August, early September. And then after we do the second one, same thing. I'm under for about an hour. And then I go back to my doctor who was dealing with everything in the beginning. And I say to him, I said, so what's the deal? Like, am I going to have to getting these procedures like every time I play? And he said, because of the foremiddle annular tear issue, it's something that's susceptible to future stuff. So I was just like, oh, fuck. All right. I got to put a bookmark in everything because it's driving me crazy.
And you deal with your mom too at the time too.
My mom at the time. And I was just like, you know, I was full go. I was going to Maryland like twice a month.
Plus coming out of the pandemic as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's sort of where I was like, I got to put a book time out. Like it was just like, okay. So then I was like, this is like when I saw you guys at Crossroads. And the other spot, I feel like it was
whatever, one of those spots.
But LPR.
Do you stop playing drums from that moment on and just chill?
So after the second one, same thing. I like playing. Well, the thing that's kept me sane, honestly, is doing drum lessons.
Okay, of course,
because it kept me involved with it.
Yeah,
I could light show like.
You can still teach kids.
Yes. And one of them was like, she's very into punk rock, and like, so I was showing her Ramones beats, that kind of thing. It kept me sane like the whole time.
For sure, dude. For sure.
Because it kept me like, and the one, I mean, year and what was it, 14, 16 months of the pandemic shutdown.
Yeah.
When no shows and nothing was going on, I learned how to read music. That was the one productive thing I did.
Oh, that's awesome.
One of a couple things, but
that's sick.
I learned drum music a little bit better because I knew how to read it a little bit, but I had to if I was going to teach.
Of course.
Do stuff. So that all kept me focused and sane. But I was playing, but not bashing, our song, H-Show song here and there, just to see what was going on, and but it's the back-to-back thing that kept getting me in the end, biting my ass. It was like, because when we go on tour, I play 4 or 5 days in a row on my own.
Yes.
And then we come out here, do rehearsal, and then boom, whatever, 17.
You're not really taking breaks to rest.
22. No, and that kept jamming. I mean, when I would try to do it after the procedures, I felt it sort of jamming, especially the first one. The second one helped a little bit better. I was able to at least lift my shoulder a little bit, but this is back in end of 21, I guess. 21.
But did the doctor ever say you can never play drums again or anything like
no,
that?
He never said that, but he told me it could be susceptible to it, so I was just sort of like, oh shit. All right, well, let me just time out everything, and I just shut it off. I was like getting frustrated, and then I was going down to Maryland, see my mom, and all that stuff was going on. I just had to like put a pencil in it or whatever, bookmark.
So how was your neck feeling like on a day-to-day basis?
It's okay. I mean, like I can turn it.
Yeah.
So basically right now, like if as playing drums aside, you basically feel like somewhat normal.
Yeah. So
the procedures did some good.
It did some good. Yeah, because I wasn't able to turn my neck for 6 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you have to do PT a bunch of stuff like that?
A lot of PT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about, can you play a bunch of songs in the row at this moment?
I have played 3 in like January, February.
3 in a row?
3 or 4, yeah.
And how's that feel?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not in like debilitate. I'm able to move it the next day, but then again, I'm not fully.
Yeah, it's a rough
ticket,
man.
Yeah, if you're not fully hitting hard like you hit usually.
Yeah. There's a part of it that was too, but I was wearing a glove in my hand, so maybe something leading up to everything was bothering me before that. I just didn't think about it.
It's a rough ticket because for a band like us, obviously, we go on tour, we play as many shows as we can, taking
in a row
days off.
22 in a row with battery.
That's up there. Yeah.
22. And we were talking earlier, we used to do like 190 shows a year at one point.
Yeah, back in the late 90s.
Late 90s, 22 shows in a row would be a light day. Light work.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier today about different drummers this happened to. Like, something happened to Larry Mullen. He's not playing with U2 right now.
He's had the same thing.
Yeah, something with his neck or something, right?
Like his C4. Apparently, like when you come down, like Alex Van Halen, sometimes when you come down the snare, when your hand hits the snare or rim shot or whatever you're doing, it's all comes in between the C3 and the C7.
Interesting.
Dude, it's a rough instrument, like physically speaking. Yeah. And if you think about how many times you hit the drums per night, multiply that by what is it? Like by that point, it was 27 years in H2O, let alone like before that.
Outcrowd, 10 years.
Yeah, you're looking at like 40 years of making these high impact repetitive motions. Like there's going to be a toll for that. There's a price to pay, unfortunately.
Yeah. When I'm 14, joined a band we'll get to this, but with Todd, I never think about this stuff.
I know you expect to be doing it that long either, though.
I know. I met Todd. Well, we'll go into this, but I know.
So you're still having some sort of release with teaching people how to play drums. You're still in the mix of music.
Yeah, very much every day.
And you're at venues all the time.
Yeah,
helping people with drum tech and stuff.
Yep. I teched for someone last week, Shaggy in Long Island.
Shaggy, yeah.
It keeps me in the mix. Like I still get that pre-show like little buzz.
Yeah. And also teaching kids is awesome.
Yeah, that was one thing at that time period that kept me. This is before I started working on drums, but that was one thing that kind of kept me sane was just like teaching drums and being around it still. Even though we.
Yeah. Have you come to like a mental reality of the fact you can't play drums live? And
I haven't really. I still have that little dog in me, but I have that other side of me where it's like, I want to get knocked out again and be like, deal with all that again.
I like it to get knocked out. It's the most scary thing about that. Not playing shows again.
It was.
It's like getting put under.
I had a lady take a picture of me on purpose. I was like, when I wake up from this, I want you to snap a picture of me just to remember what, just to be like, where I'm at. And she had a picture of me where I'm just like.
I'm happy that it happened to you later on in the career when you had such a long career together. It wasn't the first 10 years.
Yeah. I think it was going to happen sooner or later.
And it's cool that like at least you're able to live a pain-free life. You know what I mean? Like you're not like in constant pain.
Yeah.
So long as you avoid like these things.
Yeah. I've like it took me. I mean, because of the shutdown and everything, I was like itching to go, and then it just was right when stuff was happening. But at the same time, I had other stuff happening with my family.
It's some real life stuff going on.
I had some real life stuff. Yeah, and I was just like. I think it was you guys and Todd and Rusty and one of you guys said to me, I was like, you have a lot going on. I was like, yeah, I do. Yeah,
it's your mom, it's your family. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I was like, I had to go take care of a lot of that stuff too. So
yeah. So now it's now like regular days, SST. That's your regular life right now.
Right now, yeah.
You wake up at 10:30. You wake up at 10:30 to be work at 11, correct?
Yes.
You've always slept in your whole entire life.
Yeah.
You never had to wake up for any really job, maybe back Roadrunner back in the days or something.
Yeah, we had to be
first of all, waking up at 10:30 don't count as waking up for a job. I'm sorry. That's sleeping the fuck into.
That's sleeping in.
Yeah. Your whole life you've been pretty lucky with that.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, even Roadrunner, we had to be there probably like 10 o'clock or 9:30, something like that.
Laid back job, right? It was, yeah.
But you're in a good place. You feel healthy in a good place.
Yeah, I feel good. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, so like, so we had the 2020 thing, and then you get to like March of 21, I go see my mom for the first time in a year because they were really nervous about everything, and she had some health issues before that. But so she's diagnosed with cancer in March of 2021, and it's like, oh shit, like your whole reality just kind of shifts around. This was right when we're about ready to do Arizona.
Yeah.
So then
stress is powerful too, man.
It was I was dealing with it as best I could. I think I was also like digging in and sometimes just keeping busy kept my mind off of stuff too.
Yeah.
So I was going down from New Jersey to Maryland probably twice a month, I think it was. Sometimes even more, I'd say a week down there, and just helping out because there was a lot of stuff with my brother and I and my mother and father. I felt like I needed to know more what was really going on, so we both kind of just helped out with as much as we could. And she was really sick. Like I felt like they were kind of she was kind of guarding it from me for like 6 months how bad it was, but I kind of had a bad feeling about it. I was like, okay,
you didn't want to stress your kids out.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And there was some stuff I didn't know probably that, like, the one thing she did tell me was the chemo's not working anymore, and I kind of knew what that meant. Yeah. And I was pretty much down there that whole summer so they told her this late June of 2022. She passes away about a month after that. So I was down there pretty much the whole time.
And she stopped doing the chemo.
Yeah.
Chemo can be, it seems like it's so brutal, man.
Brutal. You know what was, like, this is my mom. Like, so when she decided that she's not doing any more chemo, she's like, so when I go, I want Maker's Mark and some roses and just, and we poured on top of, that's what she wanted with her ashes.
Did you do it?
We did it last summer.
That's incredible,
man. That was her last wish, and we did it.
That's beautiful.
But she was like, that's what, she always like a shot here and there. So I was like,
wow, man. That's beautiful though, man.
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
Where'd you do that at? Where did it happen? St. Mary's?
Yeah, Potomac River.
That's awesome. Right in your backyard, man.
Right in the backyard, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're my first person on the podcast who was born in St. Mary's County, man. The legendary St. Mary's County, where people think that Rusty's from, people think I'm from there because we live there, but you're actually from there.
Dude, we never played there.
No, we never played there.
And that was always like kicked around in the 90s. Like, yo, we got to play a show in the county. We never did. I never got to visit. And I got to tell you, man, the way you guys spoke about it, in my mind, it's like swamps and airboats.
Kind of is,
like
a little bit.
Toothless kids playing banjos.
A little bit, right?
You know what I mean? What was what is the county like?
It's in
reality.
Good question, Adam.
So my father, I'm going to go way back.
Let's go.
So in 1961, met my mother at West Virginia Wesleyan University. I'm going way back.
That's cool. 61, baby.
I didn't know
way back.
I didn't know a lot of this stuff till my mom. So he meets my mom. They date a year. Then they get married in 62. So this is how it leads to the county. But basically, so they meet in West Virginia. My father gets a job offer in Maryland. My mother's from Connecticut, like super northeast, family. So they offer my father a job in St. Mary's. My father says, I'll take it if you get my wife a job. So they got my mother a job in St. Mary's. They moved to St. Mary's. It's an eye-opener for my mom because she's from the northeast. Yeah, my father's used to mountains,
living
country.
in the south and shit, yeah.
Yeah. So they moved there in 62. And when they moved there, it's like there's casinos. It's like one road in and out of the county, basically. But it's a military town. So, that leads to a lot of our friends.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people join the military down there. But it's a Navy. It's a huge Navy, Patuxent River Navy base.
Yeah.
And so they're there from 62. I mean, my dad's still there now. But basically, there's not a lot there for jobs, but teaching and military was the two, and tobacco farming, I guess.
Your parents were teachers?
Yeah, both of them. My father went into, he was the purchasing person for all the schools in the county later on, but he was a teacher.
Yeah. What did they teach? What did your mom teach?
She was a librarian, actually.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And my father was math, and then he moved into the Board of Education where you would supply.
So let's talk about the county in the 80s. You guys are 80s, right? 80s
county
babies?
Yeah.
So what was the county like in the 80s? Is it like a city? Is it like villages? Is it like hillbilly shit? Like
it's like a small town, right? I mean, we made fun. We learned how to have fun skating. Yeah,
because you met you guys. We moved there, me and my brother. Yeah, and that's where I met you and through Todd. Yeah, because Todd met you first, correct?
Yeah.
Where'd you meet Todd Morse at?
So I met you guys fall school year of 1985.
Wow, almost 40 years next year.
Yeah.
You met Todd first, though, right? Todd Morse.
Yeah.
First?
So my first band.
So wait, you guys were all like the local punk rockers meeting up.
He was like Todd was a new wave.
I was a new wave punker.
We were like skateboard punks, me and my brother.
But I had spiky hair.
Yeah. Like Liberty spikes or like the spikes you've had since the 90s?
Since the 80s.
Yeah, just some 80s shit.
But he had blonde spikes when I met. That was taller than mine. I was jealous.
I had Liberty spikes. That's more punk. You were more new wave.
Yeah.
But you had a band called Nerd Alert.
Yeah.
And you also had a band called
Gas.
Yeah. What was the first band?
Nerd Alert was like...
that was the first one?
It was like, play off Revenge of the Nerds kind of thing.
Okay.
We had fun, goofy songs. And then Gas was a little more structural wise, like songs, which eventually became the Plastic Toys.
That's right.
I don't know if you remember Roman.
But what did Animal inspire you to play drums on the Muppets? Like, what inspired you to play drums? I thought it was Animal, but maybe not.
So I got my first kit in 1980 out of the Sears catalog.
Nice.
My mom was like pushing me to get it.
To do drums, your mom was pushing you?
Yeah. I mean, it was my uncle too, my mom and my uncle.
Why drums, you think?
I don't know. I remember my father played a little guitar when I was little, so I thought it would be fun.
Like the Friends family band needed a drummer.
Jam. Yeah.
Did your brother Trevor play music?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
And he wasn't in the same music as you really either, right?
He got me into some new wave stuff because he's about 3 years older.
Give me some artists that you were like hip to back then.
In the mid 80s? Well, always the Police. Police still is like my favorite. Like, then you go to, I kind of ventured into like the Clash at that point, Ramones. But then
you got him into that. That's cool. Yeah.
But then like he got me into stuff like Simple Minds, U2.
That's cool.
The Cure, Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
But he's not punk.
Man had taste, huh?
Bryan Adams was like, run to you.
So this is in what, middle school you get into this stuff? Or?
Yeah, middle school. Yeah.
And how were you as a kid, TF? Like you were a good student? Like you paid attention? You got good grades?
I got by.
Were your parents strict about your grades and stuff or no?
They were. I wasn't really a good student. I made it a class.
Yeah. You didn't focus too well.
Nah, C's and occasional D here and there.
So they weren't really tripping on it?
Nah, not really, no.
And your bands you're in during high school, you have these bands, or middle school?
Just my freshman year.
Yeah.
So those two kind of fizzle a little bit.
And then the Morses come to town.
Yes, the Morses come to town.
The Morses take over the county. Literally, there's no punk rockers or skaters there.
So I have a tape of the song that we did with Gas. It was like an 80s new wave song, but it had punk parts in it.
Okay.
And
you played for Mr. Morse, Todd Morse?
Yeah. So Todd's and Roadside Pets, the beginning of the school year.
And that's with Rusty, right?
Rusty.
Yeah, we didn't waste no time because all of a sudden we moved there, meet Rusty, and then they're in the band already. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Two singers in the band.
Two singers.
Before
Todd
Scarhead,
Yeah. And then that was Rusty, Tina Downey, Wayne Williams. I have a crazy story about Tina Downey, by the way. I'll get to that.
Well, Rusty dated her. She was in his band,
Rusty
correct?
Dated Tina Downey. So going back to how the Roadside Pets and Outcrowd issue kind of like, I don't know, it's a weird, me and Rusty just figured this out recently. So Roadside Pets practice at Tina Downey's house.
That's right.
Green Knolls. I used to live in that house.
Did not know that.
That they practice in.
Wow.
Before that.
Wow.
Which blew up me and Rusty's minds.
I know, that's crazy.
They practice in the garage where we lived before we moved, my family, before we moved to St. Mary's City.
Okay.
So me and Rusty were like, oh shit, that's true. Like it was like,
that's wild.
So I meet Todd around this time, and then I give him a tape of Linda, and I heard kind of like some stuff Roadside Pets was kind of like fizzling or not really.
Yeah.
They weren't continuing forward. Or
they're the county's favorite though.
Yeah, for sure.
Roadside Pets were crushing the county.
Local heroes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
We actually
covered.
Wasn't talked too much from the Thicker Than Water record, originally a Roadside Pet song.
Correct, Mundo.
Yeah.
That was from the Talk Too Much. That's from the cassette tape, right?
Cassette
the demo.
tape.
Yeah.
Yep. So we did our, and then I think there was something else that was Roadside Pets. We did Go, which was an Outcrowd song.
Yeah.
Too. So I meet Todd, give him a tape. I remember him wanting to play and sing guitar in this band, Hodads, which became...
He was done being the double singer with Rusty. Yeah.
He wanted to play guitar and sing, I think he had this like navy blue guitar. We just started jamming like Ramones covers and did some shows around the county, some parties.
Wow. Okay.
Which band are we talking about now?
Hodads. This is technically early phase of.
And Adam, like keg parties were the big deal in the county. Yeah, those are the shows you played in barns, all that
barns,
stuff. Barn bash.
This is exactly what I imagine the county to be.
It's barn bash.
Yeah. We played.
It's like the remake of that new movie Roadhouse.
Yeah, it is.
Totally that style.
We made our fun. That's one thing we knew how to do. We played like in Solomon's Island in someone's front yard.
Yeah.
And then we played Sean of Kinney's party that night.
That's right.
Stuff like that. We were just playing everywhere.
Cool.
And then that summer, Todd gets in a car accident and everything is like paused. Like, I don't
remember that because I knew you got in a car accident too. You broke your pinky.
Yep.
Todd totaled his car.
It was on, I think it was on Willows Road, which goes into the county.
And what happened to Todd Morse? What happened?
I don't remember. He was with Keith Manuel, who also was in the Hodads too.
Okay.
So
two Hodads went down.
Two went down. So everything was just, that whole summer, it's like timeout. So then I don't know.
Did my brother break his leg or foot or something?
Broke his leg.
That's right. I remember this.
Because when we started practicing later that summer, we didn't have a mic stand. So we had someone was holding the mic for Todd in my parents' garage in St. Mary's City while Todd.
So Todd had a roadie back then.
Yeah.
He's got roadies now too.
Oh yeah, he's got roadies, everything now. Tour manages everything.
Probably still got a few people.
You guys couldn't find one mic stand in the county?
Couldn't find a mic stand.
Okay.
So I ended up making one out of wood. I make one out of wood.
That's some real Hodad shit.
With a base like maybe 4 feet high, and we used that for a while. So we just made our shit out. Yeah, we just made it happen.
That's incredible.
So then that was beginning of Outcrowd. Late summer of '86, school summer of '86.
Yeah. So while you're in school, were you working jobs and stuff?
No.
Nothing.
All
you want to do was music at that point, you think?
Yeah.
No college?
Wasn't on the horizon. Wasn't on the thought phase. The one agreement I had with my mom, she was like, I don't care what you do, where you play, how late you get home, Richmond, New York City, you have to go to school the next day. That was awesome.
That's great.
So like 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours a night, I had to go to school.
That's a good deal, though.
Yeah. I was like, so I would have been at this point 15.
So Outcrowd started off when you're in high school, and Todd Morse is in high school as well?
Yeah, yep.
Because Todd Morse is older than you, so I thought maybe graduated.
He was about 4 years older. Yeah, he's about 4.
So he was already out of school when Outcrowd started, I guess.
That fall, he was going to St. Mary's City College, St. Mary's College.
Yeah. And how old are you then when you were playing with a band with him? Teenager, no?
14 when I started.
That's crazy, dude.
So there's this sort of cliche, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you hear about like the 80s, like people would fuck with punk rockers, like non-punk rockers would fuck with punk rockers.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch any of that in the county? Was that like 100%. A thing, or is that just an old bit?
A little bit.
100%. Todd Morse, I saw Todd Morse get knocked out one day trying to break up a fight at the roller rink out in the parking lot.
Skate station.
I seen Rusty get a knife pulled on him at a gas station.
Just for being punk?
Well, because Rusty had a Fiat and he cut the roof off and he put anarchy signs and skate death on the side. We drove around and Rusty turned his mullet into a mohawk. We looked like Road Warrior. It was like from the movie. And we're all in the back. We're driving through skateboarding. People calling us crazy words you can't say anymore, and throwing bottles at us. Yeah, it was legit, man.
I do remember skating.
Confederate flags flying.
I do remember skating the square, and people would yell at us.
That was we skating the county square.
Which is not what it was now. It's not.
I have not been back to the county. You go back to it. You go on the.
I was there in January, February.
So it's fair to say the average county community was not particularly enlightened.
Not really
at that point.
But there is a skate park there now.
There is, which is crazy.
And there was nothing when we got there. It was just curbs.
There's like 2 places that have shows down there now.
Wow.
Like remember we used to play the Great Mills Amphitheater all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not too late for H2O to play the county.
That'd be kind of sick, man. That'd be kind of sick for 30 years. We'll go back to it. Yeah.
It's definitely changed. I mean, some parts are different, but most of the county has moved north from the park.
Yeah.
But where you go down to where my family lives, St. Mary's City, hasn't changed at all. It's weird. It's like once you get past the base, it's like a time warp. It's like, oh wow.
So Outcrowd starts playing shows, barns, backyards, everything, colleges, and ended up playing in D.C. and Maryland, and started playing with actual bands.
Yeah. So we play. My first real show was fall of '86, and we're supposed to play with Bad Brains and Scream at Cedar Crest Country Club.
Yes.
So Bad Brains cancel. I think something happened with HR or something. I'm not sure. But so we play the show with Scream. That's the first real show.
Who was playing drums in Scream, TF?
Ken Stacks.
Oh, not yet.
So
good question.
So the thing with Ken Stacks was
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Ken Sachs. So we start playing our first couple songs, and my snare breaks. I'm like, ugh, I'm like 15, you know. He turns around and hands me the snare. Like, oh, you use this. I was like, really?
That's cool.
You know, so I have that memory from him too.
That's awesome.
But that was our first real show, and then we started playing. We had a show with Dead Milkman at the Marble Bar in Baltimore, which was another big show for us.
That's huge.
That was like early '87. We started going to a lot of shows there. Rollins, you went to Rollins.
Yeah, that's where I met Token Entry.
Yeah. I got actually a question from Paul Hutzer about that the other day. But the Marble Bar, that was like a hot spot for me. I think the Bad Brains on the Ride Against I tour played there
for sure.
Like, and that was like, so this is like, we started playing with real bands, big stuff at that.
Yeah, so you start getting a pretty big following for the county time. Man, what makes you guys like want to take the chance and move to New York?
So,
let's call it that. My brother wanted to go.
He wanted to go, and I was out of high school, so it was like it was either time to do something or not. You know, it was like I feel like it was
because you wanted to go for it. And actually,
we wanted to go for it.
Yeah,
we played with like we played with a lot of great DC bands and stuff too. Like
was New Music Solution out yet? Their first record?
It was out at this point.
Yeah,
that came out in '88.
That's a great record.
When that came on vinyl and I put it on a record player, I was like, oh wow, this is like
who put that out?
Dave Weiskopf, Joe Crunch, and then Amanda Mackay.
That's right. It was through Sandwich too.
I'll put it out. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Are these records like on Apple Music or anything?
Not yet.
That's a great question. They should be though.
I have
None of the Outcrowds.
The two Blackout ones.
Yeah, but the other one should be on. That's really, it should be on there, man.
I know. That came out. It was more skate punk. That was our early sound, and then we kind of moved into different stuff after that. But that came out summer of '88, and then
what year was Thrappin Crew?
87.
So Thrappin Crew, if I'm right, is Todd Friend on drums, percussion, Toby Morse rapping.
Yes, Mike Alderson.
Now I've never heard this.
Good.
And I've always been curious. Like, what kind of MC were you? Were you like a KRS-One style? Were you like a proto Eminem? Like,
so this is around Beastie Boys' License to Ill. So it's very influenced by Beastie.
Yeah, I had my friend. He was my partner in crime to sing on the stage, Mike Alderson.
Do you remember any verses, Toby Morse?
I have one. Yeah.
Would you like to share it with the listeners of the One Life One Chance podcast?
Nobody's ever heard this song before. No, don't play the tape because it's going to sound too loud. The song was called, one song called Posers, right?
Yeah, Where Were the Crowds, Wear Skate Clothes, and Being
It was about people who bought skate clothes but really couldn't skate.
But do you remember the lyrics?
I know the whole song, dude.
Would you like to share it with the audience of the One Life One Chance podcast?
Okay. Come to the ramp with their boards, Rap Bones, Genius, Skull and Swords. They all have pads, form signed by dads. We say drop in, they pose with a grin. We say, why do you come? Scared or oppose? They say, leave us alone because we wear skate clothes. There with the crowd, wearing skate clothes and being proud. Ho!
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's very License to Ill.
Very good.
Very License.
We can use that. We can use that.
That was a cool song, though, but that was all we had. So you have that one photo that poster you sent me. That's the only picture we have playing. I see.
That was on the bass.
My ex-girlfriend's in the back watching it. My future ex-girlfriend's in the back watching that one. Okay. Anyway, so the county, it was like a movie, man. The whole living there the whole time it was.
Yeah. We got out. We moved. You moved a little bit before.
I moved to New York in '88. Yeah. So when did you guys move there?
So you come back for a little bit. I don't remember how long it was.
That's when I found out my girlfriend's cheating on me with the guy who was cutting her lawn. That's a true story.
Fuck that guy.
That's why I wrote My Love Is Real for H2O. It was inspired by this girl.
Yo, is it? Now, I remember hearing this. Isn't there something in your? I could be wrong, but there's something in your yearbook about moving to New York to support New York hardcore.
Yes. Move to New York, support New York hardcore. Move to New York, keep skating, and support the New York hardcore scene. And that's what happened, bro.
Mine was drums. That was pretty much.
Yeah. That was it.
Yep. I graduated in '89. You came to my graduation.
Yep.
And then you and I and the Wheel Brothers, we took off for Virginia Beach for like a week.
We did?
Yeah.
What would we do? Like just hanging out?
Beaching, bro.
Wow. Okay. You have such a good memory of all that stuff in the county.
Yeah, TF, you've always been like
and connected
names,
to it.
dates, places for all of it. Like it's kind of crazy, actually.
You pull out names and stuff. You're still talking to people. Remember this person. You just connect. It's your roots. It's where you're from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You could never live there again, though, right?
No, it's weird. It's weird going back there because we made it fun. You know,
totally.
Like I go see my family.
It's a different place.
None of my friends are there. Like not many of my friends. Maybe a couple, but not. You know, it's just different. You know, it's very. There's not. You know, there's still the Green Door there. That was where we
it's still there. Wow.
What's the Green Door?
It's just a bar and club that all those bands played at. Yeah, but it's still there. That's crazy.
I saw Jimmy Crandall's brother. We hung out probably a year ago. I was down there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you moved to New York because you want to make it with Outcrowd.
Yep.
Where are you working at when you get there? Because Todd was working at Zigzags.
So we moved there late summer of 1990.
Did you move to Jersey with me then? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
You moved up like 2 days before me in that
Jersey City.
Southwood Courthouse.
3-story house for like $1,000.
Yep.
Crazy, bro.
There was 8 of us living. It was like 8 or 9 of us living there.
It was crazy though.
So you move up on a Friday. I think I move up on a Saturday, Sunday, and then me and you start working Roadrunner Records on a Monday.
Mailroom?
Yes.
I did a stint too. Shelter, baby.
Oh, that's right.
Mailroom, mailing out cassettes. And
I feel like everybody's done that when you're in a band or something.
And then you grab a handful of CDs, take them with Generation Records, right? We all.
Yep.
100%.
Everyone knows that.
100%.
I did a little bit of time at Blue Grape, which is the Roadrunner
the merch.
Felix Sabage's RIP. He passed away recently.
No way.
Yeah.
So you have all information. Rest in peace, Felix.
He was cool.
Away,
He was cool.
RIP.
Uncle Metal. That was his nickname. Uncle Metal.
Wow.
But he was my boss for 2 years. Let me do whenever I want to come.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, oh, you got 3 shows? Oh, yeah, I'll see you Tuesday or whatever it was. He was cool.
That was like, I feel like every New York musician did a stint in some way, shape, or form in that Roadrunner mailroom.
Part of the duty.
I was in there with like all the Fahrenheit 451 kids.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I worked there in concrete marketing.
They're doing a lot of shows lately, Fahrenheit.
So you're working the mailroom, trying to make it. You guys just playing shows?
Yep, we did.
Is this such a cultural change to go from St. Mary's County to New York and then try to make it in a band?
It was, but we all lived together, so we had fun.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, it was like, oh, we'll go practice.
I mean, you're still in Jersey, bro.
Yeah.
You're still in Jersey City, not far from where we lived. It's freaking crazy. 20 years in there, man.
Yep.
Who would have thought the kid from St. Mary's County would still be the only one left in New York, dude? It's crazy, right?
As you tell, he's left in New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey. Yeah. But still, though, to
last East Coast, last Northeast Coaster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You never wanted to come to Cali.
I probably would have done it in my 30s. I feel like. I had many thoughts about it, like probably in the mid 2000s, I guess.
Yeah.
Listen, dog, you're waking up at 10:30 in the morning to go to work, and you're delivering drums for a living. I think you did all right. You know what I mean? I think you may have made the right choice to stay there.
I don't know. No. But no, I thought about it. We thought about it a lot. I mean, Chris and we were like going back and forth a lot with it, and then, I guess like everything happens for a reason. We just end up
totally.
Saying, I guess. Yeah.
How many years you guys give it a shot for Outcrowd before 8 Stroll happens? Like, how many years you in New York for?
So we moved to New York 1990, and then we were doing a lot of up and down the East Coast. We did one of the first South by Southwest shows, 1991. I think it was technically the second year. We did like a Midwest tour. We did a bunch of little tours around.
Did a bunch of stuff for Ramones, for Fugazi, I think.
Tour with Ramones.
You played Fugazi, right?
Fugazi, many times.
Every DC band can imagine you guys played with.
Soul Side,
so cool.
Scream with Grohl.
Scream with Grohl. That's what I wanted. Yeah,
that's what I was hoping for. The first question.
The first time I ever saw a front kick drum head, not the part that you're hitting, the front kick drum head. We're playing with Scream with Dave Grohl in Richmond, Virginia. Jade Elephant. He remembers the show I talked to him about years ago when I talked to him. He's playing a Scream song. I think it was like on No More Censorship or something.
Good album.
And the kick drum the front head just blows up. Like it just blows out. Like I've never seen that happen before.
Damn. Savage. Who would have thought that would come? It's just crazy.
I know. This is probably like 89, 90. Like right around when we moved up to New York.
So what year's Outcrowd and what happened? You just tried to make it, didn't work out?
Yeah, we were managing ourselves. Todd was booking us. I was trying to help him out as much as I could with mail. Back then you had to actually mail stuff out.
Did you guys have some success? I know you had some college radio play and stuff like that.
Yeah. We did a video.
Yeah, the videos are cool. I remember the videos. Great songs, faster. Great band, dude.
Thanks,
Did you guys get to like headline venues or were you straight opening stars?
Good question.
Continental size. Stuff like that. Small stuff.
Nothing really big. Nothing really crazy bigger than that.
Yeah, we played with we did a show with CBs with we played with American Santa a lot.
Yeah, great band.
I still talk to all those guys.
Sure you do.
Jay's very involved in drums.
That's cool
too. And we did we actually played with hardcore shows too. We would open up like Murphy's Law. We did Social Distortion, Circle Jerks. Never played with the Descendants.
Were you making money to survive? Obviously not, because you're working a Roadrunner at that point.
Yeah.
And then when did you guys call that quits?
So
because the timing was perfect when Eric Rice was leaving, and then
right. So we get to 95. You had just started with H2O with Rusty and Max.
94 first show.
94, and then we get to early 95, and then
because we had Capshaw and Rice. That's right.
Yeah, and then
they were gone after the first tour.
Yeah. We learned all the songs and came back when you guys came back. We were ready. We were ready to go. Yeah, and then we went.
No. So you joined the band. Rice was in the band. That's right.
Yeah,
that's correct. Okay.
For
it was Capshaw that was gone. You came in. Todd Morse came in. Rusty. Yeah. Because Rusty couldn't play guitar. Like Rusty just picked it up to start the band, and that's usually how bands start.
Yeah.
You're really not the best players, but you want to start a band
together.
Figure
it out. Yeah.
That's the whole point of punk rock, isn't it?
100%, dude. It's like so that was
you don't have to be technically great. You just have to believe in what you're doing and
pull it
get
off
after it.
Yeah. So that's what happened with that, and then the timing was great. You guys joined the band. We played the first shows, and then
my first show. We did 2 shows in one day. We played Wetlands in the day and Stone Pony at night. And Stone Pony at night, you were playing with Shelter, Adam.
Oh, was I?
That memory's sick, dude.
That's amazing. You remember that?
2 shows in one day.
Wait, which band? H2O.
We were.
I remember that show. I remember I literally remember the first time I saw H2O. I was like, damn, these guys are good.
Thank you, Adam.
And like you guys were really cool backstage as well. I was like, these guys are good and they're cool. Fuck, wish my band was like that.
So your first show, we played with Adam's other band, Shelter. Okay, that's crazy, dude.
2 shows in one day. It was just like August of 1995.
That was just the beginning, bro. 2 shows in one day.
Away we went.
Hold on. Let me CTF. Fury of 5 were on the bill.
I think so.
Yes, they
with
were.
Shelter?
I remember.
With Shelter?
Yeah. Fury of 5 open because I remember.
Oh, right.
I remember just being just like I remember H2O, and I just remember being floored by Fury of 5 because I mean, back then,
dude, that was no
even still today, bro,
so hard,
still hard, dude. Yeah, shout out to
just
Man
like,
Fury
damn,
5.
these guys are bringing it,
and those guys always had
a
it back.
Stone Pony too, savage.
Those
guys did Phil Collins cover.
I remember Atlantic Confusion, baby.
Those guys would always come to see us. Always, even if they were banned from that venue, they still make
always
came
out supported.
Shout out to Fury 5. That was.
I talked to Jay a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great dudes.
So then you're in H2O, and then we freaking make the record.
There we go.
Soon after the record's made, Eric Rice leaves, and then we did a tour with Shelter and Downset in H2O, and we started hanging with Adam a lot, and he's riding with us in the van, and he's like on his way out.
You guys got me hip to hair products.
Hair products.
Adam, what was that moment for you? Like, I mean, obviously you weren't thinking I'm going to join H2O after this tour, like how was that hanging out with us, and how did you end up hanging out with us? You just got kind of sick of the whole life.
I just feel like Shelter was a weird fit for me. Like it was. I joined that band through a combination of very strange circumstances, and I always felt like a misfit in that band.
Yeah,
it was an odd situation to say the least. And then
you had a lot of rules as well.
Yes, no fun. And then like when I met you guys, like you guys were so welcoming and so fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just thought I don't know how I ended up in your van.
Yeah,
but. I just remember being like, this is to me what a band should feel like, right? Like everybody's completely encouraged to be themselves, to have fun, to laugh and joke and do all these things. And it didn't feel like a hierarchy that there was at the other lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, when my tenure with Shelter came to
10 years.
Tenure. Like my time. 10 years.
How many years were you in Shelter?
I was in Shelter for like maybe 18 months.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it flew by. My timing for joining bands is impeccable. Like I joined like right before they did Mantra. Cool, I'm gonna join when they make the hottest, hippest record. I'm gonna bounce before they make the next one, right? Which
when you guys have
Bodyguard.
Mantra's a great record though.
Mantra's fantastic.
It's an incredible record, man. And that was such a ride for you. Like you guys was massive in Brazil. You guys were touring a lot. You were like, it was awesome.
It was great. And then I'm like, wait, H2O's starting to blow up. Cool, I'm gonna join that band next.
But Shelter was still doing good at that time.
They did. They're still at it. They played out here. Wait, this coming out in July. They played out here a few months ago.
But the timing was just perfect for Adam. Like all of a sudden he wasn't in that band. All of a sudden 2 weeks later he was trying out for H2O. Rusty called him up. It was cool.
I think trying out is a bit of an exaggeration because I literally showed up and you're just like, learn the songs you're playing the show.
That's true.
Yeah, there was never really like a tryout.
So we're in the studio. I think it was down Lafayette Street.
I love and appreciate your memory so much, dude.
It's amazing.
I remember us trying to get you on a flight over here, Rusty.
Yeah.
Rusty was like, we got to get Adam over here. We were like, can he play bass? Oh yeah, he's training. Took lessons bass.
Yeah, that was my main instrument.
But we thought you only play guitar, so we were like, we got to get him over. Yeah. Like, not tomorrow, not the next day, like right now. Like we got you on a flight because we had the Murphy's Law tour coming on the horizon or Madball show.
Yeah.
Madball show.
And the Madball show, the P-Rack was Adam's first show.
That was my first gig.
Right.
I can see Adam right now sitting on the couch. He had this like, kind of bowl haircut, super shy, sitting in the back. It was
orange soccer jersey. Dude, I was so nervous. Like when I came to H2R, I was like this shy, nervous, insecure kid.
You're not the same person, bro.
Nah, that kid's gone, baby. That kid's gone.
And that it was gone on the Murphy's Law tour.
I mean, that shell came out pretty fast. On the
Yeah. I'd been sheltered.
The 1996 Murphy's Law Beer and Water tour kind of set it off for Adam too, and everybody like just.
Dude, I just feel like there's a vibe that I always thought a band should have. You know what I mean? And it should be like everybody supporting each other. Like it should really be, and not to be like cliche about it, but it should feel like a family. 100%. It should literally be like and to me H2O, like the first of all, seeing you guys like when I was on the Shelter tour, you guys had that with Eric, and I think it's a lot to do with the fact that you guys had grown up together and kind of gone through all these formative experiences together.
It's true.
That went deeper than just playing music together.
I mean, we were friends, Toby. I knew you like
since '85.
At least, we're 10 years before we were in a band.
Yeah, and it always. I mean, I talk to Adam almost every day, and people trip out that we hang out when we're not on tour. That always freak people out. You see us walk around downtown. Yeah. You guys just play a show, and they're coming to hang out. Like
Z-Bar.
It's amazing.
It's beyond the music for us, and it's brotherhood, you know.
And then when I came in the band, the fact that everyone in the band was like the fact that I was like the new guy. But you guys had this long history. Like it almost felt like that was irrelevant. You guys, hey, you're part of the gang now, and you're in. You know what I mean? There was never like
Remember, I took a while to tell you officially.
You did. You drag the shit out. But to be fair, I think it makes sense if you're going to have somebody in a band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you should. It's a real commitment. Like you should spend a little time making sure that you're a right fit. Yeah. But man, it was like I felt like I was so happy. I felt like I was at home right away.
Yeah, and Adam had some crazy years. Obviously, he's sober now. How many years sober now, Adam?
Well, I haven't drank alcohol since September 6, 2010. I really should.
That was from the Japan tour, right?
Yeah, that was. I got off the plane from Japan tour where Tal Ronan and I had been going hard on the nightly.
Yeah.
Scott Vogel was in town. We went out and we rampaged.
Damn.
Hard.
That was your last hurrah.
Yeah, and I woke up the next morning and I was like, I'm going to try and quit again. Because, like, when you try and quit alcohol, like, in my experience and the experience of people everyone that I know that's done it, it doesn't happen the first time, right? You try and you make it a while and you get comfortable. And how do you celebrate making it a while? Well, I'll have one drink and then you backslide. So, but I was like, I'm stopping. And then it was like, a few months passed, a few more months passed, a few more months passed, and then I was like, dude, if I move to California and get away from all these triggers and all this alcohol, I might be able to do this time. I moved to California, and I was haven't drank in 14 years now.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think when you came with your lady, she drank, and you guys didn't drive, so that was kind of an issue.
Oh, Juliet?
No, before that, because you came and went back. You stayed with him and you moved back to New York.
Oh, you're talking about the early 2000s?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was out here. I moved out here with Toby and Moon.
Yes.
In
I remember that.
2001.
No, it was because we were out here for 9/11. Was it 2001?
Yeah,
2001. Early 2001 And
that's right, dude.
And
then you went back.
And I went back because I believe, if I'm right, Max was on the way.
He was on the way.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, that bedroom you're sleeping in, we're going to need that. And I was like, well, there's at the time my girlfriend in New York, I was like, we'd kind of had this longish thing. So I moved back and that, we.
Then it got crazy out there for you for a while.
And then things got crazy for a while.
Yeah.
And then, Tiff, you were working. Once the band started playing and going, we were just going.
We were just going. Oh, we were talking about the other day. We were
so many shows.
We were doing 150, 180, 190 shows a year.
Actual real life road dogs back then.
During
home for like 2 or 3 days sometimes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
When I was looking for something to do on weird days of the pandemic in that year or whatever it was,
this was cool.
I laid out all our sheets from 95 up till the end of the go cycle. And it literally went from one part of my building to the other part. Just sheet, show.
Hey,
that's
like,
cool.
It was like 30 feet long.
Yeah, we should make like a book and put it out. It's kind of cool.
Legit, there was like 2 or 3 years where I legitimately did not have a home.
Yeah.
I was like couch surfing, sleeping on a martial arts school floor.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like just because there was no point, because you'd be like home for like 7 days, and then you'd be off on tour again for like, you know, a month and then home for 2 weeks and gone again.
We
for
went
like
so
6
hard,
weeks.
man, but it was so cool, man.
Dude, it was so great.
I can't imagine going on tour for more than 2 weeks right now. People
oh my God, I'd
6
die.
weeks and 8 weeks is crazy.
Dude, we got like 10 days coming up, and I'm shitting my pants.
Yeah. It's crazy back then what we did, and just went for everything.
But I think there's a point, like not just in your career as a band, but like in your life where like just getting out and just doing it. You know what I mean? Like because there's that window does close for you.
Yeah.
At a certain point. I think we're incredibly blessed that we got to do all that. I mean, we got to.
I feel like every band should do that at least for 3 years.
I mean, if
like
they can,
2 albums,
if they can,
I like that.
Yeah, and if you're 20 and 30s, you got no excuse not to.
No, it's true.
Sure, yeah.
And like it was before the internet,
right?
So you really didn't always know what you were getting into. Like getting off the plane, I remember like the first time we went to Japan, just like, wait, these people know our band.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
They care about our band, and they cared about our band a lot.
Yeah, dude.
And
that was beautiful, man. First time in Japan was unreal.
Or any of these places. The first time we go to Europe. The first time we go to South America. Like, pre-internet was different. Like, it did feel like you were really going to these like
far away
fantasy
places.
lands. You know what I mean? And
it was, man.
And it was.
Japan was unreal first time.
I think our first show was Osaka, and I just remember hearing the crowd saying 5-year plan all the way back where I was by the drummer. Way back. And I was like, whoa, what? Like, this is really like, how do they get our music?
Yeah.
Every show was bananas.
I don't blame you for this, TF, and I always talk about this with Adam a million times. Me and Adam have our opinions. We talked about every single podcast. People love the Go record. It's the first time here in H2O. They told me every time I've guessed, like, that was my gateway to H2O, blah, blah, blah. You picked that producer. You loved Matt Walsh. You loved the Replacements. You loved Faith No More.
Yep. Looking
back on that record now, which is going to be about 23 years this month. Do you love that record today?
I do. It's obviously different from the first 3. We were such in a like go mode that I feel like if we had kind of taken a little bit of a breather and really figured out what we wanted to write, which I love what we did and what we wrote, but like taking a step back for like a little bit and maybe being like, okay, this song, that song, you know, but I love everything on it. Like that was the only thing.
And we're dealing with like a big producer on a big label. There was a lot of pressure, man. A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. And I talked to Hans last week.
I feel like me and Adam kind of checked out a little bit.
It just felt like to me it felt like too big a step. Like I felt really comfortable at that sort of Epitaph record size. Like to me that felt like personally like the place our band fit best.
Yeah.
100%. And I think it was sort of like there was this idea, right? Like that, like Seattle had happened, and there's this idea that, like, you know, now we got Green Day and Offspring are kind of popping, and Rancid are coming up. Like, let's try and find more of them.
Right.
And I feel like we got scooped up in that, and then you go to a major label, and it's like the first time people are really talking about like going to radio and hits and all these things that were not really spoken about in our scene so much.
Yeah.
My favorite thing on that whole cycle was playing Conan O'Brien.
That was incredible.
Like Will Ferrell, the guest. I mean,
with the big bear in the cage in the back.
I just like that MCA Record was give us lots of money when we asked them to. We're like, hey, MCA, we're going on tour. Can you get us a bus? And they're like, sure. Cut you a check for that.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean,
and then never recouping that record.
I would not undo anything about it.
Yeah.
I just wish we'd and it's hindsight being 2020. I wish we'd made it more of a hardcore record. I think it would have been
with Chad producing a different producer.
A much bolder statement to make a hardcore record on a major label versus making a record that sounds like it should be on a major label when you're on a major label.
Right.
Yeah, because those songs stand up live.
Yeah.
Those songs work in the set list. We're on a lot of those songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some great songs on that record.
Some songs will never play and see the light of day. There's some songs I listen to. Total cringe factor.
Yeah.
Like my voice is doubled and tripled and quadrupled a bunch of times. But that's my fault. That's my fault for not being present and wanting to be there and contribute to that. You know what I'm saying?
But it is also the fact that we were first timers, right? We're like, oh, this is how it's done at this level.
Yeah.
This is what you do at this level, right? Like I know the photo on the back of that album of us just sitting there. I think it's in a van or something. We're just laying there. That photo costs more money to make than FDTW the previous album had.
Well, the video shoot alone was like 2 or 3 albums worth of.
It's crazy.
Right. We hired an actor.
Like you're just in this weird situation, and you're like, And like, let's be honest, like you have this opportunity to like, man, maybe we could do this forever. Right.
Yeah,
if we make the right moves now, maybe we could be that band. You know what I mean? And I don't think I think it's just inexperience, you know?
Yeah.
And what if you let the label like put Like a Prayer out as a song? Because we did a role model video and then we did Memory Lane on Conan O'Brien. Which now that I realize, I'll say it on this podcast, that Rusty made that move for sure. Like Rusty called that. I love you, Rusty, but that definitely was a move.
Yeah, but I mean, he got us. He also got us on Conan O'Brien,
100%,
which is great.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering why we didn't play the single on there. We ended up playing Memory Lane, which is fine. It was great. I love it. I think it's a great performance. I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
But then they wanted Like a Prayer to be a single after that. I was like, that was weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm glad we didn't do that.
It was a sign of the times too. I mean, Blink was on MCA, Newfound Glory was going over to MCA.
That's right.
Like,
and with
it was all the rage.
And with sort of the downside of it being like such a money-driven industry at that point, and them spending so much money on bands, like if they didn't see a pretty rapid return on investment, basically they just lost interest in the artist, right? So we sort of got caught up in that after Go. They're like, wait, they didn't make a hit, cool, let's on to the next one. You know what I mean? And then we did the All We Want EP. All We Want EP.
Yeah.
And then
we toured a little on that
then
too.
it was bye MCA Records.
Because then it went under. We got let go, which we're really lucky that happened.
Yeah. We could have got like tied up in some kind of contractual hell and been unable to make
I wish
records
we got let go before we made the All We Want EP, but that's okay.
Why, Toby?
Because we would never made the
I think the first line on that record is the most prophetic line ever. Cover up your eyes and put your fingers in your ears. We're about to say some shit that you don't want to hear, because nobody wanted to hear that fucking record when we put it out.
And we had to pay Nelly some money too.
Yeah, we had to pay Nelly money. We got sued by
we said
Nelly.
It at
Wait, why? Because there was a live track on there?
Yeah, because
it's getting hot in here.
The second side was live from CB's, and it was a super hot summer night show. And if you never went to CB's, it was like playing in a sauna.
Yeah.
And you just went, it's getting hot in here, and the audience yelled back, of course, because it was big at the time. So take off all your clothes.
He came after us for half a penny.
A little more than that.
I don't know about that.
He literally could buy a cup of coffee with the amount of money.
Exactly, because I think we're labeled something happened, but they wanted to cut from that.
They got a little piece.
But also because I said her, maybe because that's how we said. I don't know. Supposedly the way I worded it.
No, I mean you said it's getting hot in here, and the audience said, "So take off all your clothes." Yeah. Technically, he should have sued the audience.
Yeah, he should have.
That's a crazy moment.
TF,
your love for Simpsons.
Yeah.
Was that came as a child or when you were adult?
So when we moved to New York, that was when it all started.
Yeah, why do you think in your adult age? It's interesting.
It was like adults for cartoons for
true.
It's brilliantly written.
Yeah, I like Family Guy and shit.
Clever as fuck.
Yeah, Family Guy's fun.
But you obsessed with so long, dude.
Yeah.
You still watch it?
I haven't watched any of the recent seasons. No.
So they still have new seasons.
Yeah, they do.
Wow, dude, that's like the longest running probably cartoon ever.
Is this where we're going to segue into getting TF to do all the Simpsons impressions?
Landers.
Give us more. What else you got?
Hi, kids. That's good, TF.
What else you got?
I used to be able to do Barney, but I can't do it anymore. It's something.
Try it.
I'm fine.
That sounds great.
Pretty good, TF.
What about Homer?
Hey, Flanders.
What about Bart?
Bart's too high.
What about the girl?
It's a girl that does that.
I thought the girl on the show, Lisa. No, her character.
Oh, Lisa Simpson?
Yeah. It's hard.
It's very high up. Yeah.
You killed that for so long, man.
Well, you hit it out the park for 3 out of 3 on those.
Yeah, those are.
Also, TF, you have an interesting way of sleeping, and I posted a picture today where you're sleeping. I'm not sure if you know about that. With the pillows on top of your head, you've always been that. I remember Mitch drew like a picture you called the anti-reality suit because you like to wear the eye jammies and earplugs and headphones. And what's your deal with sleeping?
I don't really use headphones anymore, but sometimes I'll wear the eye jammies, especially when I'm flying and stuff. But I do wear.
You have a rough time sleeping or something?
I do sometimes. Yeah, just knocking down. Yeah, pretty much.
But you sleep to 10:30, so you're definitely getting sleep.
TF.
That's true.
You're definitely getting sleep.
I definitely sleep, yeah. It takes me a while to wind down. Like when we're on tour after a show, it takes me like hours.
But how about at home? It takes you a while. You doing a lot of coffee at home?
Once a day.
Yeah, so you can wind down at night. Yeah.
I don't think...
It was very interesting. I'm just got something to say about it.
I was going to say, over the course of this band's career, we've worked with countless tour managers, road crew members, drivers, other band members, other bands, and they're all like, damn, that guy can sleep.
So true.
Every one of them, like anywhere, like legitimately, like not. Honestly, it's an on-tour superpower. The ability to just sit down. No, thank you. Close your eyes and just go to sleep is enviable.
When I'm out, but when winding down, it always takes me a long time to like wind down. So sometimes I do like stretching before I go to bed and stuff like that.
But you always been like that?
Yeah, I think
like
so.
In the van. I remember us in a van leaving you at a gas station.
Yes.
On tour buses, that's sort of not that sort of a thing, but to do it in a van, I think this may be the first and only time it's happened in music history. Oh my God,
dude!
Because you would sleep in the back of the van. This is your move. I'm going to call you out on your move right now. We would stop at a gas station or roadside service. Everybody would get out, handle their business, and as they came back to the van after 10 minutes, you would wake up, and then you would get out and make us all wait.
That was kind of whack on my part, honestly.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah. That was your thing,
that was just how it always did happen. But this time, you got bit on the ass because this time, you actually got out.
And nobody saw
and you wandered away, and then we got back in the van, and we just thought you were sleeping in the back, and we just left you.
True story.
I think that
in
was
the South, too. Kind of place you don't want to get left, TF.
That might have been on the Terror Tour.
Okay.
I think it was.
H-Show Terror Tour.
Look at you.
What date was that? What year was that, TF?
2013.
Dude, your memory's insane.
And we also toured with Alkaline Trio and Newfound Glory later that year.
That was a great tour.
It might have been on that tour, too.
That was a great tour.
It might have been on one of those, too.
We've had a lot of great tours.
What are some of your favorite tours, TF? Like famous artists we toured with?
I mean, honestly, the Warped Tours were fun for me.
They were fun. They were hard, but they were fun.
They were hard, but they're fun.
Some moments.
Definitely, I had fun on the Boxcar Racer tour.
That was a great tour.
That was great.
With the Used.
I had fun on that one.
Yeah.
Boss Tones were always great.
Boss Tones were fantastic.
I think the one that takes first prize is Murphy's Law, though.
That was fun because we went through the hurricanes. It was like crazy.
R.I.P. Todd Youth.
Yeah. R.I.P. Todd Youth, man.
Yeah. We
had Rap Bones on that tour.
There's different like levels too.
Yeah.
Like Murphy's Law was very hardcore, right?
Yeah.
We had like Danny Diablo's our technically our roadie, I guess.
Yeah.
Driver roadie.
We had mini mornings.
Lewis was taking photos.
Yeah.
Crazy dude.
They had Rap Bones and they had this fantastic lineup.
It was like a traveling.
Yeah, it was like a traveling like carnival, and it was long too. I think it was like 6 weeks or so.
So we left in July. We come home. It's after Labor Day, and it's starting to cool down. So we were gone for a minute.
And you slept through it all, man.
Yeah, and
you weren't drunk. You just
and then like the Boss Tones is obviously like levels above that because that was like after they'd put out Let's Face It, right? That was a big record.
And even before that, we toured them.
Yeah. But I mean, at that point, like they were a big band, but they were like they treated us so well.
I know.
So well.
Yeah.
And
I
then
love the Boss Tones, bro.
And then we had a few runs with Pennywise, but then I feel like one of the bigger ones for us was Misfits and Sick of It All.
Oh yeah, 1990. What TF?
1998.
98.
That's FDTW tour.
Nope.
That would have been Thicker Than Water.
Thicker
tour.
Yeah.
So we leave. We go. We do the tour with Misfits, Sick of It All, and then we go straight into Snow Jam, Canada.
Brutal.
No, don't go home. We have a day off.
Brutal winter shit.
Green Bay. We play a show in Green Bay. We have to drive to Western Canada. Moon and I were talking about this the other night. We're running out of gas. It's on E.
I remember.
Holloway's driving.
Nighttime.
Holloway's driving in the middle of the night, like 2, 3 in the morning. Holloway's driving, and all of a sudden, Rusty takes over the wheel. It's like we have to get to this. It's like 10 degrees outside.
Yeah. And we're in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Medicine Hat, Canada. I know, it just came to me a second
You're
ago.
a genius, bro.
Medicine Hat, Canada. We're pulling in. We're running out of, we're literally on the last. It's like floating into the gas station. There's no more gas left. Yeah. And we make it, and we're oh shit, we're wired from it. None of us, all of us.
I remember that night being like, man, we gonna die in Canada?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember Adam in Alligator Alley in Florida on the side of the road, trying to touch it. We got pictures.
I touched an alligator. I got a photo of it. I played tag with it. It was a big sucker too.
It was.
That was crazy.
In hindsight, not smart.
Not smart. Yeah, not smart.
But I remember Snow Jam was great. That was our first time. I think we were really touring with Ignite and then Guy Smiley who came to Europe. I remember getting a bait. One of the happiest moments of my life was getting a bass lesson from Daryl Jennifer, who was someone I always admired. And we sat down with a bottle of vodka and 2 basses, and he was gracious enough to allow me to ask him a bunch of questions about what he did. And he actually taught me stuff that fundamentally changed the way I play the instrument.
To this day, that's cool, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was it his green? He has the legendary green bass.
Yeah. Green Monster.
That's the one.
Jeff, what about your brain injury you had that we thought was caused by marijuana? Have you smoked marijuana since then?
No.
What year was that? Because you got another date.
So Well, 94, I started having equilibrium issues.
Were you smoking a lot of weed leading up to that?
No.
Okay.
No. I was in college and
Wait. What were you doing in college? What was that for?
I was going like a couple part-time, a couple classes a week.
Sorry.
He was teaching.
That's where I was going. Todd Friend, the substitute teacher.
I'll go back to that. Okay.
We got to go back to that.
Oh my God.
That's before that. So I started having like equilibrium issues, and I get all these tests done, and I had like an internal ear infection.
Yeah.
They figured it out, but they back then they gave me like tons of Xanax, and which I wouldn't take now, but back then I was like, whatever solves the problem of my equilibrium, and they gave me antibiotics. It was basically like a deep inner ear infection, way inside, way in the ear.
Yeah.
Which my father has sometimes too. He has bad ears.
Let's get to school teaching.
Yeah, Todd Friend, the substitute teacher. I heard this a lot in the van over the years, and I was always like baffled by it.
So my parents are both teachers, and I'm out of high school, and I'm like, this is before we moved to New York. So fall of '89, I basically like go to apply to be a substitute teacher. So for one,
with what credits? Like,
what were your qualifications for this?
That I was in college. Position. That was it down there, but it was like $50 a day. $50 a day, 7:30 in the morning, be there till 3. I think class is over at 3.
That's super ballsy. I respect it.
But I did it for one school year, basically.
What did you teach?
Yeah, what you teach?
Whatever the teacher left me. I don't really.
But how old are the students? Like, what was grades?
So I did Great Mills. I was 1 year older than the students. I did 1 day at Great Mills and a lot of Spring Ridge and some. I did some at my mom's elementary school with her.
I have a day planner, night before you're planning your.
They would just leave me time schedules of what to do.
Was that crazy? Was it nerve-wracking? Was it?
It was a little bit. Being in charge of like 25 first grade.
Did you ever want to be a teacher after that, or think about it?
I was pretty much one and done.
Yeah. Okay.
What was your disciplinary style? Like, if there was an unruly student, what would you do?
Sit him in a corner. No. It was basically like quiet down, that kind of thing. That was
you were like caring, compassionate teacher.
It was pretty interesting. It was like harder than what I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was going to be a
hard-looking job.
I thought it was going to be a quick, easy $50, and it was like, looking back, it was more. I should have got paid more probably.
Was there any time in your life did you want to quit H2O back in the day or no?
No, never. I was just always next show, next thing.
You're always down for it.
Yeah. No, I was never like I'm done. Or
what were the years we were really just chilling on H2O and weren't working jobs? I forgot. Somewhere in the 90s, right?
We were basically full-time H2Oers from I would say I joined 90. I joined 95, 96?
96.
96.
Right when the first.
And then I didn't. As far as I know, nobody ever I feel like you were sort of wrapping things up at Nana. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
But it was just like we were just so full on, like you couldn't really hold anything down. I remember the only time I remember you not doing stuff was when you broke your hand.
Right. Yeah,
punching me.
Yeah, tell that story, Tia. It was a really interesting story.
So we got this huge sold-out tour with Dog Eat Dog. Such a moron I was.
It's in their prime. They're huge.
Yeah, we got to set some context. They were
massive in Europe. Yeah,
massive.
We're waiting for a cab in front of Beauty Bar.
Yeah,
on 14th Street.
I'm like a spaz, so me and Adam are play fighting. I punch him on the side of his left shoulder. My arm turns inward. I'm like, that kind of felt weird. Something weird in there. And I'm talking to Rossi, and I'm sitting next to him on the flight.
Is this before you started taking all this bananas for your potassium? Okay, go ahead.
Same time. So on the flight going over, I'm noticing my arm is not able to stay in straight position. It starts curving over this way. I'm like, oh shit, okay, that's weird. So I end up talking to Brandon, the drummer, Dog Eat Dog, and he's like, bro, what's going on?
Well, mind you, we get there super late. They almost kick us off the show.
Yeah.
Paul Lewis told a story, and his story was totally different because of the manager aspect. But they booted us off that show by the time we landed. We got there so late. Whatever. But then they let us play, though.
I think we went straight from, it was one of those straight from airport, to stage. Right onto stage, literally. We pull up in whatever vehicle we're in, we jump on the stage.
Yeah. I remember in the bunk a couple of times, how am I going to do this? I don't know what's going on. So then I try to play 4 songs. I can't hold a drumstick. Go to the hospital with, I think, Vaughn and the German promoter or something. And I just remember the guy coming out with the x-ray, and he's like, you broke it.
But this after we played our set, though.
After we
played a mini set.
4 songs.
And then what happened? You just I'm done during the set? I forgot what happened. Why
I think I couldn't hold a stick.
I thought they cut our set short.
I remember he couldn't hit the snare. Because I remember being like, yo, what am I... this is like a mess. Like there's no snare.
Yeah.
Like what do we do?
So we
all the money, the bus, all that shit.
We went to
all the fame and fortune we missed out on.
So then we go to your house for like a couple of days.
Yeah, we fly to London.
Hounslow.
Stay at my parents' digs. And then we flew home, and then we had the Social Distortion White Light, White Heat, White Trash tour opening slot.
Yeah.
And we did the tour at Max, and you played one song with one arm.
You would come up and play Friend every night with one arm.
Yeah.
That was a crazy time.
That was a crazy time.
Yeah.
We were in like go mode around that whole time.
It was like we couldn't stop.
Yeah. And then when that tour ended, we started early writing Thicker Than Water stuff. I remember we played Everray in Japan on that first Japan tour.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, dude.
I mean, that was such a fantastic time, you know, like when we were in that sort of like, all right, we're making a record, boom, let's, because it was very unique because we all lived for it. Yeah, like we didn't have anything else. Right, we all lived in close proximity to each other.
Totally. You and Rusty lived together.
Yeah, we literally would like go to the rehearsal studios, rehearse, write, and then we would make a record, and then we would go on tour, and then we would. When we toured the world and played these songs, we would start over. Yeah. And we had like a good cycle. Well, like we had like 3 albums straight of it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Really, like Thicker, FTTW, and Go. That was the life, and I think it was an amazing experience to be able to do that.
Yeah. Making FTTW in the winter in the Coyote Studios with Brett Gurewitz was awesome, dude.
Yeah,
that was the time, dude.
That was fun. Yeah.
So if I remember Freddie Kim did the Guilty part, we had cool people hanging out.
I listened to that record the other day because as you know, it's the 30th anniversary. And I was like, maybe we'll
in 25 years of FTTW. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's gonna be 25 years of FTTW. Thank you. And there's some good stuff on it. I was pleasantly surprised by how well some of it holds up.
Yeah. Some deep cuts that are good.
Yeah, deep cuts.
Eminem was a fun one too on that. Liberate too as well.
Liberate's great. Yeah.
And then when did Todd Morse leave originally first time?
So we get to the end of the Go cycle, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
We get to 2003, 4-ish, Max.
Yeah, Max. We're taking time off on hiatus, Hazen Street, all that. Juliet Lewis and Licks.
Yep.
Adam Blake tries up for Box Racer twice. It goes out there twice. I never really
tried out.
Twice went out there,
like Dave Kennedy calls me and goes, you want to try for Boxcar Racer? I'm like, sure. And I fly out, like Tom flies me out on his Tom credit card. And on
a PJ? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no. And then we just sit around and talk. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, that's cool. And kind of we chat about music and what we're into. And then I go back. And
you heard of Fugazi? Yeah.
Yeah. And then like they got someone else, which was fine. And then later Dave's like, yo, you want to come to the studio? We might be looking for a new bass player again. I'm like, oh, cool. I'll come out, whatever. And once again, hang out, chat. But anyway, that's an aside.
Yeah.
Where were we? What were we on?
Just Todd Morse. He left around that time.
Yeah. So I remember when Todd, I think Todd like ended up having a conflict with the Licks.
That's right.
If I remember correctly, right? It was Juliet and the Licks.
Remember that.
And I feel like the first time it happened, it either came out of nowhere for him or he hadn't let us know.
Yeah.
Because I do remember we entered a little bit of like panic mode.
Yes.
Like scramble mode. And I think if I remember correctly, Brett Boobop came out with us and like really helped us out when we did it. Yeah. I don't remember what the tour was that we were going on to, but I remember we were like, man, we can't like not do this.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have that much of a lead time to figure out what to do.
That was probably like 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
And I went to UK. I did a tour with this band called Hypertonics around that same time.
That's right. You played drums for them, right?
Yeah, we did whole UK. We did like.
And Rusty joined like 9 Lives.
9 Lives.
That's right.
Yeah. It was weird going over there with you guys, I have to say. It was weird.
It was weird doing Hazen Street with all you guys too, but it was with Mackie too. But that was fun. And Freddie and these guys. But that was weird, making new music with other people. For sure. It's different.
And that was around, I started doing like concert production around that time.
That's right. Roseland, you worked at all that.
We were off for a while. I was like, I'm getting married. I need to make some money.
100%. I worked at Golden Boys, lugging gear for like a year and a half. That shit was crazy, bro. I built the stages at Coachella. That was freaking gnarly, dude. Yeah, did all that stuff.
Yeah, that's when everybody started to get like other things,
right?
Other things outside of music,
right.
You know, the band was always sort of there.
Yeah.
Like I remember we did like that used tour. Was it the used? Yeah, used tour with 30 Seconds to Mars.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
And they were
opening.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I remember they asked us to play before them in New York in our hometown. We said yes, and it was awesome. And when I ran into that guy later on, he thanked us for that. That was a crazy ask to ask a band to do that. We did that. That was cool. That was a good time.
Yeah, so I think we sort of would pop up and do stuff, but it was very loose. It wasn't like we're doing this full-time gas pedal all the way down that it had been for like the previous however long, right? Like 10 years or whatever.
Yeah, that was around 2005, I think. 2005.
It's crazy. It's 30 years now. That's pretty wild, man.
That is nuts.
It's a long freaking time, dude.
Yeah.
It's a long time, man.
It's a long time.
TF, do you have a favorite drummer?
My favorite drummer? I probably would say Stuart Copeland.
Okay.
My middle name's Stuart. I want to change my name as a kid to Stuart, not Todd.
Okay,
and
that's
my mom
cool.
was like, "You're not doing that," and I was like, "Okay."
Oh, that's interesting.
But Stuart Copeland probably. Then you got Bill Stevenson and
nice
Dave Grohl and I like a lot of like pop funk drummers too.
Okay.
Tony Thompson, John J.R. Robinson's great. Those are like I follow them on Instagram all the time and see what they're up to.
That's cool, man. What about like another hardcore drummer? From the scene you grew up in, maybe other people you might think.
Well, I always like Sammy Siegler.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah.
Who?
Sammy Siegler.
Savage.
Yeah.
Byron Pennywise is great. I like watching him play.
He's savage, dude.
Brandon from Fugazi.
Oh yeah.
I like how I had the bell ding off the side.
That was sick.
It's like a fire bell. Like stuff like those are all my favorite drummers. Pete Moffat from Government Issue was one of my favorite.
Yeah, I remember they mentioned Sam.
He hits hard too. I remember him like seeing him with you guys at Marble Bar. That was another show we went to. Marble Bar. But those are definitely in my favorite top, top 10. Or I don't even have 10, probably 25.
It's hard to do that whole who's your favorite person that plays an instrument. I remember we always used to do that in the van. We'd have like the what is that, like the fantasy hardcore draft. Like, all right, who's your guitar player? Right? Who's your singer? We'd make these like
or fights too for
hardcore fights. But I feel like with the hardcore fantasy band draft, you always ended up with either like the Bad Brains with a couple of switch outs or like one voice agnostic front with a couple of switch outs.
Right.
Like it was always like those were always the template lineups.
Yeah.
TF, you have any major regrets in your life?
Major regrets? Whew. I don't think so. At least not yet.
It's a great thing to be able to say, man.
Wow, not yet.
I don't know.
Is this something you want to do in your life and you didn't try to do it? Or
probably own a house or something. Own something.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. You've been renting for 20 years in your spot.
Yeah, I guess that would be the one thing.
That's New York living, though. You know what I mean? Like, who's really buying spots in New York or like right outside New York, New Jersey?
Anymore? Yeah, right. Especially now. Regrets? Do I have any regrets? I don't think so.
Are you an optimist or pessimist?
Optimist. That comes from both my parents, but me and my
mom
like
that. Yeah.
My mom was always like glass half full, not half empty.
Yeah.
So that comes
whole
from
life you've been pretty positive, man.
Yeah.
Except that one time you screamed at that lady in the alley.
Oh, in Seattle. You didn't know it was a little old lady when you screamed at her. It was just a car.
That was the first time I saw you kind of rage like that, TF.
I feel like that was like 2002 or 3.
I don't know the year, man. We just know you the lady.
It was on that tour after
TF.
It's 2002-ish. I think it was 2003.
TF.
2002 or 3.
I just remember you screaming at some car that was pulling into an alleyway, and then it just drove past, and it was like the sweetest little old lady.
I know. I felt bad. I think Bill Stevenson was like, "Oh man, that was crazy." He was hanging. It was Columbus, Ohio. That's where it was.
Like, how does he remember this stuff? Isn't it pretty breathtaking, right? Like.
It came to me a second.
TF, you read books?
Yeah, a little bit. A lot of music books.
Still?
Biographies. I can't read like fake stuff.
Yeah, you have a massive love for the 80s. Why is that, you think? You
You
love 80s movies, you love everything 80s, huh? That's your time.
Yeah, all that stuff was fun, I guess.
But you're really good with like knowing everything from there.
Yeah, I was asked recently to find a singer, a song that was popular on the internet recently. Like a bunch of people hitting me up about it. So for about 3 or 4 years, it was this song everybody knows. It was like very mid-80s sounding, and I had like 5 or 10 people hitting me up. Who is this artist? You got to know this. You know all the 80s shit. I couldn't figure out what it was, and like last week they finally figured out it was some guy that was like out of the, he's still doing music, but it was like an older guy, and he's like, "Oh, thank you so much, like for all that." I was talking about this.
You didn't find him though, did you?
I didn't find him. No.
Yeah.
I don't take the credit for that one.
What about therapy? You ever had therapy before?
Yeah, I did. A little bit back in 10 years ago almost.
Max in underwear, man. Come on, man.
It was mostly like coaching kind of thing. It was like coach therapy. It was like,
what does that mean?
So he was like an Olympic coach, coaching, like he would coach like I think it was one of the Olympic.
I remember we talked about this. This is when we all had the conversation with Todd back then.
Yeah.
About maybe talking to somebody about.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And you went to get like a mental coach, like
It was like a mental coach. Yeah, he did like Olympic.
Because we were worried about you for a while.
Right.
You were going through all kins of shit.
But even before that, you had some stuff you're going through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to figure out Todd Friend, the guy that we've known for 30 years, don't really know. That's why Adam's asking these questions.
Mysterious man in the van.
Yeah.
Because you slept the whole time. We could never really have conversations with you.
You know, like how Stigma's got a book coming out, The Most Interesting Man in the World? You're the most mysterious man in the world. Because it's just hard to get into your brain.
Right.
So the only time you did therapy was that time?
Yeah, it was basically like performance mental coaching.
Okay. And that
like
helped
for
you
tours.
think?
A little bit. Yeah, for sure. I went like 3 or 4 times. It was definitely like influential, and I took what knowledge he was giving to me.
Yeah. TF, what are some of your daily rituals? I know you drink coffee, you wake up at 10:30.
Can I tell you what his daily rituals are?
Yeah.
It is eat bananas.
Yes. I still, whenever they have a banana at a show, at the end of the show, they always ring out.
Is your daily ritual also involve waking up as late as humanly possible?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
10:30
is not that late. Huh?
I was been up for 10 hours before you wake up, dude.
4:45 a.m. baby, every day.
What is the fascination with bananas, though, for real?
So when I was broken, I had no money. I was one of the things I could eat that was cheap.
Really?
Yeah, or a can of beans.
When were you broken, had no money?
Well, back when we moved to New York.
Okay, and falafels and shit.
Anyone in hardcore man's been broken.
That's true.
Money.
Yeah.
I mean, this poor guy was living in the streets eating bananas, but they also potassium.
Yeah,
but then
it's healthy.
We thought it was just you, but then we saw some other people, drummers eating bananas before they played.
So it prevents cramping. It has a lot of potassium. It prevents cramping.
Interesting.
And it just fills you up a little bit to give you a little pep juice for the show.
It's a fast digesting carbohydrate.
Yeah.
Quick source of energy.
Yeah.
Good choice before a set.
Yeah.
TF, you're a big hip hop fan.
Yeah.
You have any top 5 MCs?
Q-Tip.
Wow. Nobody's ever said Q-Tip on this podcast.
Eric B.
Sick. You mean Rock Campbell? Go ahead.
I like a lot of the classic. LL Cool J, Run DMC. I like Biggie.
Listen to Biggie. You still listen to hip hop and stuff?
Yeah.
Do you listen to new hip hop or new music?
A little bit. I've worked a couple of shows with it.
Yeah, because you're working with young artists.
Live Nation stuff.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
Awesome.
J. Cole.
So you're in the mix. You know what's going on.
A little bit.
What about top 5 like punk bands, like favorite inspirational bands? I know Ramones is your top.
Definitely Ramones.
Probably Minor Threat.
Minor Threat, Ramones. Clash. Police, and then Bad Brains, probably.
I like you put Police in with the punk rockers. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was very...
I mean... Yeah.
It's a little, their early stuff's punkish.
They're not punk rock, but they're from that era.
Yeah.
Like ancillary to punk rock.
Yeah. I follow a lot of stuff. Sir Copeland talks a lot of stuff about stuff that you never knew about the Police every day on his IG and stuff.
And for a while you were obsessed with the news. You're always looking at the news every day. You don't do that
Not anymore.
Not anymore,
Feel
right?
Better. Much better.
That was a big part. You're always checking the news. Always.
Yeah, it was like, because my family, we always talked about it.
Politics with your family?
Yeah. I had one parent was Republican, I don't want to get political, but one parent was Republican, one parent was Democrat.
Okay.
So it was like interesting. Yeah. It was
Wait, so 2 people from opposing political sides of the fence could get along?
Imagine that.
Totally.
Wow.
And be married?
Yeah.
Wow.
What a different time that was.
That's crazy, Tiff. I didn't know that. That's cool.
But not anymore, but
of
back
course.
then.
So that's pretty cool conversation with your parents.
Yeah, it was always, but it was never an argument between those two about back then politics.
Yeah. They were married forever.
60. So my mom passed the day before my parents' 60th wedding anniversary. Dude. So that was like tough. Yeah.
What about social media? On social media that much?
Yeah. IG. Mostly.
I know you run the H2O Facebook, so thank you.
Yeah.
You kill that, TF.
Have fun with that.
It's real fun on Facebook because I'm not really on Facebook. Adam, are you on Facebook, Adam?
I'm barely on any of it anymore.
Yeah.
It's probably for the best.
Barely.
But it's so weird and political and wild over there.
I do like, though, that like by doing this podcast, like I'm sure because we never really had like a statement like, where's TF and why is Max back there now? And I feel like there was probably some people out there coming up with all kinds of weird theories about it, and like, you know, there's like, just to be clear, like, obviously it's all love.
Yeah,
100%.
You know what I mean? There's like,
we're brothers to the end.
Yeah, there's like,
for sure.
Like,
for sure.
I know in our mind, like, you're still part of this band.
Thanks,
You're just not.
You're for life, dude.
Yeah.
For life, dude.
Yeah, you might not be in the chair anymore, but you're
He's
still.
TF showing us his H2O tattoo on his lip. His only
TF,
tattoo.
there's no video, right? So if you're gonna do something, you gotta say it.
You got the H. That's the only tattoo you have is H2O tattoo.
Yeah. It was definitely like we were talking earlier. Like, it was definitely like I was going through the neck shit, the shoulder shit, and then at the same time the family stuff was going on at the same time. So it was like, it was definitely a weird time, but it was 2 years of shit.
Yeah.
Basically.
How do you think the kid's doing so far?
Great.
Awesome. Is it cool to see him up there doing like my son playing drums? Is it weird? Is it what's it
no,
like?
No, it's not weird at all.
Because it's so cool that you want to come to the shows and support. Now you might come to Europe this summer. We're family, dude.
I love when you come on stage and sing Guilty.
I love
or
that
just come
too,
on stage
man.
and sing, period.
I give it all I got.
I've always thought, like, after that, I'm like, man, TF could do a band where he fronts. Like, TF would be a pretty interesting front man, I think.
No, I thought
you got
cool.
a pretty strong voice.
When you came into Guilty, people were so happy because people was asking, "Where's TF? Where's TF?" And now to listen to this podcast, I know all the shit you went through. You know what I mean? Like mentally and physically. You know what I mean? Like,
it was basically from March of 2021, before Arizona, all the way through 6 months after my mom. I was like in just a cloud of haze, sort of plowing forward, but not all the way.
Of course, man. That's a lot. It's a lot for anybody. Any one of those things would be a lot for someone to deal with.
You know, you're always welcome to come and tour with us, hang out with us.
Of course.
Family sing with us.
Yeah, for sure.
Come to Europe.
Just to be clear, we still have a bushel of bananas on the rider every night in your honor. Like, you won't have to go potassiumless.
The funniest thing that Max told Todd Friend yesterday that I knew about, that Rusty was trying to have Max learn Memory Lane and Underneath the Flames.
Of course he was.
Love you, Rusty. Nice try.
Yeah.
Max is like, what, you heard about your Max? Like, what about these songs? He got you already. But truthfully, you always wrote the set list.
Right.
And it's crazy that Max writes a set list now.
Wow,
it must be, and I know that Lars from Metallica does. It must be a drummer thing.
Yeah.
It's also a like lazy rest of the band thing too.
Yeah.
Which is like, hey, the
But
drummer
it's also
wrote the
a cool
set list
job
before.
to have.
I do know when I would do the set list, and usually like New York or LA, Toby would text me like, you'd be like, I'm doing the set today, or you would text me, we're redoing the whole set.
We've always done
all
that.
All right, we're getting down to business here. We got to redo some stuff.
It's my
fault.
It
used to be Todd, actually.
Yeah.
I got that from Todd. Todd would do early show set. It's him and I, but he would, this chord goes into that chord. You kind of structurize it like that. Whereas I would be like, fast song, medium tempo, fast song, slow song, fast song. That's
how it works.
That's a system?
I guess.
It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But you're always good at that, TF. So I do definitely.
Yeah.
The kid's all right, but you're professional on that.
I do. I always do. If I was in a group chat with you two guys, I would be like, Toby's doing. All right, we gotta really focus.
I know. I apologize. Adam checks me on it too, and
it's all good.
I feel the crowd.
But you're the one singing it, so you have to feel it too. So.
My beef is like, I don't mind. I'll practice any song. I just don't want to have to practice a bunch of songs and then get them pulled out of the set. Like, we're not playing that one.
I know.
Like, fuck, I just practice that song.
And now we just added like Heart on My Sleeve and Black Sheep. No, Heart on My Sleeve and Skate for this one, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I played Skate in a while, man.
Yeah,
so H-Rez in the record since 2015 is crazy, bro.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy, man.
We played a lot of that Use Your Voice record.
I love that record,
more than you think.
I love the record a lot, man. I'm proud of that record.
Yeah, Use Your Voice has some really good songs, but it came out, it was the first record we put out in like the modern era, which if you think about it, it's like everything's faster, right? Like it used to be you'd drop an album and you'd have weeks of people checking it out. Now at that point, and these days it feels like an album drops, like 72 hours later, it's
old news.
It's old news almost. Yeah.
And, we worked hard on that record, though. I remember sleeping on the floor that's in the studio down in Orange County, and you and I would come in early. Or
Yeah.
Also, Nothing Proved record was so magical, and the timing for that after Go.
Yeah.
And just the way me and Adam coming out of the Go record weren't really that much involved in taking the reins. Us three taking the reins.
We definitely took much more control.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of that record, and the timing for that coming back was just perfect.
Yeah, because it did feel like it was might be sort of over.
Yeah, totally.
You know, because we're done Go.
Yeah.
We did the All We Want EP, and then it just felt like there was this dip, because there's an energy that a band has when they're moving up.
Yeah.
Like it's very palpable.
It's
like
crazy. Todd Morse dipped after all those bad songs we made, but then he came back. Well, he came back from nothing.
Yeah.
So
dude,
that
I remember what happened was avoiding disaster.
Yeah.
And I changed the lyrics in the car.
Yeah.
So, man, wow.
I remember that record. You and I demoed some stuff.
Oh,
Well,
with
Still
Mitch.
Here.
Yeah.
Nothing
It was
to
Still
prove.
Here, Nothing to Prove, and
we
Thin
redid.
Line.
We actually the one thing from the All We Want EP was we redid Static.
Yeah,
correct.
As Mitch.
As Mitch, because that was Mitch's favorite song off that EP.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we flew back to New York, you and I. We didn't know what this thing was going to
we
turn into.
We left
We were
after
just like-
we'd done our tracking,
we were like,
and then we
No
heard
way.
the record. Yeah,
We were like,
So nothing to prove?
we flew
Yeah.
back to New York. We were like,
yeah.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And then you text me. You're like, I'll meet you at Roseland. I got a CD of the stuff.
Yeah.
And you dropped me a CD with your words on it. I was like,
No way.
whoa.
Yeah.
We were like,
That's so cool.
Yeah, I just remember like being like, man, like because you put out a record, right? Once again, it was a different time, so you didn't have that immediate social media feedback, yada yada yada.
Right.
I mean, it was there, but it wasn't where it is.
Right.
And I remember us playing. Was it Gramercy Ballroom? We did the record release show.
Yes.
Blender.
And I
Theater.
remember, Blender Theater. I remember going out, and I remember we opened with 1995, and the whole crowd sang the first line. And I swear to God, I was like, "We're good.
We're good.
All right, we're good.
Wow.
We're good." Like they thank.
We didn't know what
like you
was
could
gonna
feel
happen.
it. You're like, all right,
we didn't know what was-
they, you know,
Yeah.
we still something here. There's
And
still
we did
something good here.
some of those.
Still here, no pun intended.
We would play an hour and a half some of those shows. Like that show.
But also to the listeners, and the people who support the band for 30 years who are like, you know, some people love that Go record, some people hate it. They stuck with us and waited like that many years. And then all the new people that we got from Chris Bridge 9 for believing us and signing us to Bridge 9, they were popping at that moment. Bridge 9 was a hot label. They still are.
Yeah.
But for the timing for H Sort of Beyond, that was just, it was perfect, dude.
Yeah.
And the people that waited and like I knew these guys still had it in them or something. I don't know. It was really nice.
I
We're
feel
lucky.
like it was something for all of us. And I don't just mean the band. I mean everybody that liked our band had supported our band.
Because they could have totally just like, fuck these dudes. Yeah. Message boards were hot at the moment, all that stuff.
I remember that.
I mean, I remember, you know, when Go dropped, like literally getting called like sellouts all the time.
Bro.
It was like signing to a major label just wasn't done.
Even before they heard the record, you were a sellout. Once they knew you signed to a major, it was by the label.
Yeah. It was like
so crazy,
you had stabbed everybody in the back.
Yeah.
Even though we were the same dudes on that picture, the picture he talked about was the thing. I'm pointing at my DMS tattoo on the back of the cover, my Scarhead tattoo. Yeah. I got my Madonna shirt on. We're like all of us the same dudes. Yeah. Like it wasn't. Yeah, we're on. And then on Conan O'Brien was shouting at all our friends and our wives.
We literally had hardcore. We literally used duct tape to tape
on the
names of other hardcore bands on our amps to try and get them some shine on television. Like
I'm rocking the Danny Boy X Supermodel shirt on.
Made that shit look good too.
Toya, Scarhead, Mabel, everybody was represented. All of our girlfriends, our wives.
Yeah.
Like it was sick.
Yeah. It's like how do you define a sellout? Like I never got it, you know?
Dude.
Yeah.
We're still the same people. I was still vegan, still straight edge.
Yeah.
Same friends, still everything, dude.
Yeah.
And then the record, the record was more melodic. It was more overproduced. We know that. Yeah. We get that.
Yeah.
But we're still the same people, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad we dropped Still the Same Fell, the 7-inch.
Right.
That's what dropped in 2008 first.
Yeah.
What's on that?
That's on that record is Nothing to Prove and something else. I'm not sure if it was Sunday or something on the back. It was a 2-song.
Yo, can I tell you?
7-inch.
I didn't know we did that.
Yeah.
I know it. Like, this is how.
It's the first thing we dropped.
How hammered I was at that point in life. Someone posted that record recently, right?
Yeah, Chris Bridge 9, the anniversary.
I saw it and I was like, yo, what's that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, it's one of our records. I totally forgot we even made it.
That was the first record since All We Wanted. We dropped vinyl. That was it, bro.
Yeah.
It was 2 bangers. Dude, you did great songwriting for being fucking blaster back then.
Yeah,
man.
I did all right.
You went sober back then for the Nothing to Prove, right?
Nothing to prove. I was still on the source. Yeah,
dude.
It was 2010.
You had some scary shit too with your teenage stuff. And you being in the hospital almost died. And Adam really wanted to fly out still and to get on the plane.
Yeah.
Like, if you get on the plane, you're gonna die. But Adam really wanted to do that show.
It's hardcore, innit?
And then I remember Chad filled in or something.
Chad and Myths.
Those are
like
crazy
times. We had a wild, like there was a time when it was like a very core unit, and then it got like a little scatty for a while.
Yeah.
And I feel like now it feels like it's more cohesive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
More solid again.
If you could, before we end this, Adam, can you name all the guitar players we had? Because you're so good at that.
Oh, I can.
or guitar or bass players too.
No, I got a list. I got a list in my phone.
Who filled in drums for you? We had Brendan from Rancid.
Brandon.
And then we had the dude from
Cruel Hand Kids.
Cruel Hand drummer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that was his twice, right? And Mackie.
Yeah.
Oh, you ready?
So was it Nate from Cruel Hand on drums?
H2O 6 stringers.
Yeah, let's hear the 6 strings. Adam's gonna listen to his phone. I can't wait till Todd Friend puts out a whole book of like all the tour dates and shit. That'd be sick, Todd Friend.
All right, ready. Here are H2O's complete list of guitar players to this point.
Let's go.
Todd Morse, Rusty, Mitz, Matt Henderson, Ernst, myself, because I did tours on guitar.
That's right.
Chad Gilbert, Chris Linkovich, Ken Olden, Paul Delaney, Rick This Is Hell, CPM, Brett Jones, Looker, The Swede. Here's something crazy. I didn't even know this guy's name. I've only got him written down as Seabass's boy.
Yeah, from Europe.
Yeah, our tour manager's friend.
I forgot about
Seabass boy. Dave Backfire, Dan Smith.
Wow, dude.
That's a lot of guitar players.
So what's that total? Like 12?
Something like
15.
that.
And 20. So what about who filled on bass for Adam Ever? Nobody really, right?
Bass for me.
You got Smokey.
Dan when I was playing guitar.
Yep.
Brian Black Train Jack
That's
when I was
right.
playing guitar. Paul Delaney when I was playing. No, Paul Delaney was always guitar. And then when I got sick, I think it was Chad.
Yeah, man. And then drums is Mackie, Nate, and Brandon.
Yeah.
And then Max Capshaw before you.
Yeah,
Max
then
got
Rusty
over.
Pistachio had like a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
Wow, man,
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to say before we end is that we always so prided ourselves from being original members as much as we could. Even when Todd Morse sent us the heartfelt email, when none of us responded to it.
Yeah, Todd Morse just quitting the band. I'm like, get out of here with
And
that nonsense.
nobody responded to his
Yeah, no.
email.
Get out of here with that nonsense.
But then like we always didn't want to play shows without him or keep it as tight as we could. We've always prided ourselves on that. And I love that about this band that we always try to do that.
Yeah.
Because like ultimately a band is more than just music.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
100%.
why like you'll have someone like Todd who, let's be honest, like doesn't play with us anymore. He has like, the Offspring and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then you, but like regardless of whether you're on stage playing the music or not, like you're a big part of what this thing is.
100%.
For sure.
And therefore you will always be a part of this band.
Yeah, for sure.
For life, dude. We're brothers for life, man. Love you, Tiff.
Love you too, bud.
I'm probably Tiff. Tiff didn't cry this whole episode. Neither did I. I thought I was going to cry.
I was talking about my mom, but I didn't.
Yeah.
No, it was great. Any more questions for TF, Adam?
No, that was great. Like
this
I
was
feel
incredible.
I feel like I got a deeper understanding of the man behind
There's
the drums
still more
for so
mystery.
many
Anything
years.
else you want to say to the world, TF, or not?
There's still more mystery about me. No, I'm just kidding.
Any more tattoos for you in the future or not?
I don't know. I haven't. Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
TF, you know what's crazy? You still have the same goatee.
Right here, baby.
Yeah.
And you and Adam once had the best hair in hardcore.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still holding on, both you guys.
TF and I had a couple of fantastic flat tops up there.
That's right.
You guys set that off first, kind of? No, it was already thinking.
No, TF had it first, and then I got it. But TF had the chin beard, but I can't grow one.
TF still has the Billy Goat. No one else has that in honor of you. Matt Henderson still has a Billy Goat.
We have a Billy Goat in the band.
And shout out to Henderson, dude, who we love so much.
He's
great.
He's so great to play with. He's so incredible. Human dad, everything, dude. Like, he's perfect, dude. And his family too. You know what I mean? Keep your family.
Yeah.
For sure.
TF, love you, brother.
Love you too, bud.
Appreciate you being out here. TF's on social
fun.
media. Yeah. You can hit Todd Friend on Facebook. He runs that whole thing.
Good hangs.
Give me up.
He's got his Instagram. He's still married. How many years you married now to Chris?
20.
Congrats, dude.
Thanks, bud.
No kids, just cats. Adam Blake's no kids, just dogs.
Yeah.
You guys never wanted kids, neither of you, huh?
I think it's a lot of work, and I've all credit to people who do it, but I don't think it was ever my path.
If I would have done it, it would have been in my 30s, but we were never home, so it would have been fair.
Yeah, Rusty too was not into it. Yeah.
TF,
I'm lucky, man. I gotta go on.
TF, I know you love your wife dearly, and I'm just really glad that I was able to introduce you to her.
Philadelphia, YMCA, hardcore,
Robbie
Red Cheek show.
Make it happen.
Wait. I know I love your wife dearly too, Adam, and I'm just happy I can introduce you.
You actually did. You told me she existed, but I actually approached her myself.
True. But I had the best speech at your wedding.
Yeah, you did a good job.
I'll never forget.
You were the best man at my wedding.
You're coming up on 10 years, right?
In November. Thank you for reminding me.
Take her
Dude,
somewhere.
I'll never forget.
Go somewhere nice.
Yes. I'll never forget hanging out with Juliet. Then after that, she was with Zico, and I called Adam and said, "Yo, I met this girl. I would say you would love this girl. You're gonna marry this girl."
And I was like,
"That's a real quote."
Yeah,
dude.
he did. He goes, "You're gonna marry this girl." I'm like, "Whatever." And then he described her to me, and outside of the show we played in Los Angeles, I saw her, and let's be honest, she doesn't look like your typical H2O fan.
No.
And I was like, I bet that's Juliet Zico. And I went up and was like, "Are you Juliet Zico?" And she's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then we fell in love immediately.
That's so crazy,
and,
man.
And
I want to say, Adam, dude, you turn your whole shit around. Being sober now, the best shape of your life. You're inspiration to so many people. All your programs people sign up for. It's so cool to see that, dude.
Thank you, man.
Look incredible, dude.
I think punk rock and doing what we did puts the seeds of infinite possibility into your head, and that you can. It makes you believe that you could do anything at any time.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the punk rock ethos. You just gotta just make it happen.
Yeah.
So,
and it also keeps us young. I think too. We have this young spirit inside of us still from playing music for so long and doing what we love. And I don't know,
and dude. we look pretty good.
Yeah, we hanging in there, man.
We ain't spring chickens, but holding it together.
Yeah,
holding it down.
Yeah, holding it down.
You ain't got much gray either, Adam.
No.
You don't. And neither does TF. I found a couple today, but I don't give a fuck.
I have one like right here and one over here. But
keep that beard going strong.
Couple there, couple here and there.
Love you, TF. Thank you for being
Much
here.
love, T.
TL. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is Todd Friend.
It's fun.
Exclusive. You hear it first.
I don't do a lot of interviews, so this was fun.
This is your first and last. It's your first podcast ever?
First one.
Wow, first and last podcast.
I don't know. I actually did a couple in lockdown.
Okay.
The secrets of Todd
Friend. But this is the first.
Revealed to the world at last.
This is a real podcast, homie.
No,
love you.
Love you
Bye. Back on the pod with Todd Friend. Happy birthday, Todd Friend.
Thanks, bud.
How old are you today?
5'3".
Damn, okay, I'm 54. Wow, you're 1 year behind me. That's crazy. I always thought you were way younger than me for some reason.
It's basically like a year, 15 months, something like that, 15, 16.
I might be out there. I might see you on July 21st. I might be coming out and doing this 5K with Travis and going to the Blink show at City Field. I'll keep you posted.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think I know some people doing that and working on that and stuff too. That's awesome.
How you been doing, man? You been working, going to some shows since the podcast?
Good. Yeah, I've just been working on some. I was working on a marching kit yesterday for a at a 30-foot bass drum, stuff like that. I've never really seen anything like that, so it's like a whole new thing.
Obviously a marching kit's way different than a regular drum set, right?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, and like you have these huge mallets that are like hammers from the 1700s.
Wow. So this all
with
stuff,
like little
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say with soft mallets at the end of it, like soft beaters at the end of it.
But this is stuff you never dealt with before your whole life as a drummer.
Never, no.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It's something totally new, and it's interesting seeing everybody. Like it's like almost like humans, where no person is exactly the same as another person.
Yeah.
It's like that with drummers too.
Yeah. For drummers and drum sets.
Yeah, exactly.
What you have some notes because you have such a good memory with shows. Like I could just text you randomly and be like, "Hey, when was the first time in Japan?" You'd be like, "Oh, Osaka, 1996 at this club."
Right.
Well, I wonder why your memory is your memory really good with everything, or just mostly all the concerts you played? You have a good memory?
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember what I had for dinner yesterday, but I can remember shows better. I guess.
Dude, it's such a talent. It's crazy. You're H2O encyclopedia. You're like, and also, I had said Matt Pinfield on the podcast, and obviously he's a walking music encyclopedia, but you have so much knowledge of like every genre of music. I feel even with hip hop too. But I know you're a big '80s head, but like.
Yep.
You have so many. You have the history of a lot of those things. Like probably when the Journey record came out, when you first got it, the first Journey song you heard. It's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's just your love for music.
All of us, we listen to everything in the van and in the cars, and like so, like, we're pretty much like check stuff out, and it's even easier now with Wikipedia to like, oh, what did that come out? When did that come out? Oh, okay, and then you could find it. Whereas when we were kids, it was like, you had to ask around and actually go to a record store and find the record, and now it's like a little bit easier.
That was so cool. We had like just discovering music for us growing up, like whatever the T-shirt the guy was wearing in the back of the record, or the thank you list, or the shout outs. It's like that's how that was such a it was so fun to discover music like that. It's so different for my son. I mean, or just the generation now, they'll never have that. Like they have their phones. It's way different.
Yeah, it's way different. Yeah, like I would see we'd see somebody at school with like like a Guns N' Roses shirt when they before they got really big, but a couple of people, that had listened to them, and then boom, they blew up with Welcome to the Jungle and all that stuff, or like just anything in particular, like hip hop, reggae. Like your brother probably got me into like Bob Marley, which led me to Bad Brains.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So your knowledge and your on a typical day for you, like when you're traveling back and forth to the city. Unless you're driving on the train, are you listening to like music?
Oh hell yeah, every day. I mean, like I almost like when silence is happening. It's almost weird for me.
Yeah.
like we fall asleep to the TV on like every night. It's just like, the music's like, I always have music on when I'm working out or working on something, or or even I leave music on for my cats too.
What kind of music they listen to? Classical or something, or?
They listen to Z100, which is the ED station, of course.
That is amazing. And then T, when you're taking the train into work, like what are you listening to?
Yeah. Well, I listen pretty much anything, like anything that like kind of sets the tone for the day, like the first thing you listen to. And you listen to stuff when you're running too, probably, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm checking out new records and stuff, or listening to older stuff, but like I really been listening to like ABBA, man. ABBA has so many hits, dude.
They do. Yeah, they have like probably like 35, 40 hits. And then I didn't even know until recently, like Madonna sampled one of those songs.
Yeah. I heard it the other day when I was listening to it. I was like, oh my God, she did.
Yeah. And like ABBA never lets anybody use their stuff for samples, and they let her use it as long as she donates some money to charity.
It's on every little thing that you say to me, I'm caught up. Yeah, dude, that's freaking crazy, dude.
Crazy, yeah.
I heard that the other day. And they're from Sweden?
Yep.
If you change your mind, you change your... Dude, so many... And you know what else I really listen to a lot lately is Heart. I love Heart.
Heart's great. I watched something. She's actually... I heard she's kind of sick right now, but she's going to be okay. But Ian, the main singer, they had to postpone some of their tour. I've seen them a couple times in the New York tri-state area, but they're always great.
Yeah.
But I saw a documentary on the making of the record in '85, which was like their big comeback record, and pretty interesting. Two sisters.
Dude, they have so many hits, bro.
Oh, I know. Yep.
And they make me feel a certain way when I listen to them too. It's not like I grew up on either. It's like
I know.
When you get like all that classic stuff, it's like I really never owned like albums of these bands, just hearing them on the radio growing up and stuff throughout my life. It's interesting how these kind of songs become soundtracks of your life, and I really know where it came from, but I know every single Heart song and never owned a record. It's crazy, man.
I know. They have like endless like decades too, like 70s and 80s.
Even ABBA, I mean, they have so many songs. I know. Also, I know you're a big Hall & Oates fan.
Yes.
Incredible, man.
Yeah, definitely. I'm reading John Oates' book right now. His book I'm about halfway through it, but it's pretty interesting. What it kind of dives into is kind of like a couple decades before we went crazy touring was like touring in the 70s. It was hard to get paid from what I'm reading.
Yeah, I'm
like getting paid after shows, and like you better have paperwork with you and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. Like, in the 80s, touring seemed to get a little bit easier, but back then it was like kind of like a Wild West, like like kind of like us in the 90s, pre-GPS. Pre-cell phones, but even more so back then.
We had that like map, that book of the map book, whatever that was. Remember?
Yeah, map.
It was a map quest. It was like a real map in the van.
It was like a global.
Yeah, there was a name for it too. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Also, we had those phone dialers that we got from Radio Shack. You can get these scamming things where you can put it up to the telephone, the payphone.
Yeah,
it sounds like quarters.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you'd be on, and the operator like, "Excuse me, sir. Please try to use real coins," and you get all scared like they're watching you or something.
Yeah.
There was like all these tricks of the trade, like hustling on tour, man.
Rusty could find a club and a needle in a haystack. Definitely.
Yeah. We'd say Rusty was chasing squirrels, but he actually found them. And also, I've heard what happened too is like after we kind of slowed down touring, there was this thing for a while that Subway or Chipotle, if you were a touring musician, you get free food. That's kind of cool. I think it was Chipotle actually.
I heard that too. It was like the mid 2000s, maybe.
Yeah.
Early. Yeah.
I know you
heard that as well.
I know you got some notes with you. Give me some some stuff we didn't talk about earlier in the podcast, because you have so much things, like some highlights of H2O's career.
Yeah, like I mean, it's kind of crazy thinking back that we did like 4 out of 5 years of Warped Tours.
Wow.
The 97, 98, 99, 2001.
What kind of vehicles were we in starting from the beginning?
So in the 97, we were in a van, all of us, but it was kind of like, we would play a show, normal tour, we play a show and be like out of the venue at midnight, sleep in till 10 or 11. This tour, we had to get up to be at each event. We were driving through the night half the time.
A lot of overnight drives.
Yeah. And we'd have to be there with our merch ready to go at like 8, 9 in the morning. And then we were kind of new, so we would always play like 12 or 1 o'clock in the middle of the day. And then we would hang out like all day till the barbecue. And then same thing. The first one we did 2 weeks. The second one, we were on it for like 4 weeks. And the third one as well, the 99 one. The fourth one.
was the second and third were in the van, or was that the Winnebago years? No.
The second one, we were in a camper, Winnebago, and it broke down.
Who was driving that? Was it Holloway or no?
Carl Hedgepath.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Carl.
Yeah.
Carl DC.
Shout out to Carl.
Wow.
And we all split up on like 5, 6 different buses. Some days I wouldn't see you. We wouldn't see each other. Like we'd go on stage.
That's right. We liked H2O hobos. That's what they said back then.
Yeah.
We're in that Warped Tour DVD talking about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. And literally it was like the first couple of days of the tour the Winnebago broke down. So it wasn't like we weren't into the tour. It was like, boom, camper's broken. Here we go our separate ways for 4 weeks. And then some days, like I was saying, some days like we wouldn't see each other until like a half hour before going on. And that was a hot summer.
That really sucks. That's sad.
It sucks. Yeah.
Because I think I was on the Rancid about the Moon. I think
that's right.
Rusty was on NoFX or something, or I don't know what Todd Morse. Where'd you go?
I went with Adam to a production bus. Or I went with the Pie Tasers for a couple of days. Then I went to a production bus.
And that's what Adam was whining out too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was summer 98. That was with like Rancid, Deftones, NoFX.
It was such a sick lineup, dude.
It was a sick lineup, yeah, definitely. And 99 was good too. 99
Eminem, bro.
We shared the bus with 7 Seconds on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Crazy shows on the Warped Tour, I mean.
I know. And like diverse bills too. Like way, very diverse. Cool, all kinds of cool music.
Dude, Limp Bizkit, Deftones, like so many bands.
Ice-T.
Oh, yeah. What was the tour we did when like Misfits drove the Winnebago under overpass and the roof came off?
Oh, that was
the Sick of It All H2O Misfits tour?
Yep, that was fall of 97. So that was right around that time.
That was
fall
crazy,
97.
dude.
Yeah. I remember because I think I might have rode with the Misfits one night. I might have rode with Sick of It All one night as well.
That's right, because the next day your classic spiked hairdo was turned into a devil lock when you came back. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Misfits was so fucking cool and so nice.
Man. That was great, cool, dude. Yeah, and we did like 2 runs with them too. We did a run with Marky Ramone as well.
Yeah, that's right.
That was like about 6 months after that, something like that.
The Boss Tones were the greatest taking us on tour too, man.
Boss Tones, yeah. We basically like were on tour with them off and on from 95 through like 97.
Yeah.
And I remember them playing, we had this new song, it's going to be our next record, Impression That I Get. And it was the first time, some of the first times they ever played it. And then boom, like a year later, it was all over the place.
You remember when Madonna was like sitting in the VIP section when we opened up for Rancid at the Roseland?
That's right.
That was crazy, dude.
That was crazy.
I remember looking at Moon. I could see her over in the VIP section, basically pointing from behind at Madonna. Like, this is Madonna sitting here. That shit was crazy, bro. Roseland, we had some great shows, man. For the listeners,
Roseland was great.
The back photo from the first album is a shot from the Roseland.
That's right. I think Kenny's in that
Kenny
too.
Gavor's in the front. Yeah.
Yeah.
So crazy, dude. What else you got? I know you got some notes.
So I had the first time in Japan.
What year was that?
January 1997.
That was insane, dude.
So we had flown to Europe, which was like 6-7 hours. This one was 14.
Yeah.
And I remember you not being really able to sleep on the plane, and I was not really able to sleep on the plane.
And you can sleep anywhere, TF.
I can sleep pretty good, yeah.
But you still can't sleep on planes, right? Or can you?
Not really.
Yeah,
here and there. it's like cramped,
it's like the most unhealthy, uncomfortable place to be in the world is on a plane. It's crazy.
I know.
So yeah, we did a 14-hour trip to Japan. The shows there were fucking incredible.
Oh, amazing. And this is pre-internet, so like people are singing. My friends are calling me like family, and hearing people sing it back to us, and we're like, how do they know these songs?
Yeah.
Like, and then we went to Tokyo and Liquid Room. We had great shows at Liquid Room too.
I'll never forget like how quiet the crowd would get. I'm sure they still do. I've been there a long time. Like they were quiet in between the songs because just being respectful, so they want to hear you talk.
Yeah.
That was very surreal, man.
And we were jet lagged as hell too. We didn't know where we were.
Yeah, the label was trying to take us for karaoke. We're like falling asleep and shit.
And other places too.
I lost my wallet there at one time, and I had like $300 cash in it, and somebody returned it to the police station. They brought it to the show the next day. It was unreal, dude.
Wow, that would never happen here.
I know. And even the subways there was like no graffiti on there. People had bicycles outside that weren't locked. Like it was so surreal going there. I feel like I was totally a changed person when I came back to New York. I was definitely. Like, fuck.
100%, 100%. And we went there like every year for a while too. Like we went there summer 2000. We played a one-off with MC Hammer, De La Soul, Bad Brains, Doggy Dog, and Dancehall Crashers.
That was an insane show. I remember Bad Brains didn't go on stage like 5 a.m. that show.
Yeah, I know. It was like we played, and then I went back to the hotel, dropped my gear off, and then went back to the show for like 8 more hours or something.
Yeah. I remember De La Soul played their big single like twice. It was totally jet lagged.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the kids were like laying over the barricade, half asleep at 5 a.m. when the Bad Brains came on.
I know. I remember
he had all his dancers. MC was so nice, bro. He was so nice.
Yeah, he was. I got a good picture of him too.
Me too.
He was telling me about this thing coming. He was obviously has money or had money, but he was talking to me and I think Todd about this thing coming up. And it wasn't really big yet. It was called satellite radio.
No way, dude.
Yeah. And he invested in it early. Like it might have been XM or the other one. And then boom, like a couple years later, it was like the biggest thing,
Wow.
Yeah. I just remember thinking about it years later.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
What are some other tours you got on there?
So the Conan O'Brien.
That was great. Did we play? We played 2 shows that day or 1 show?
So we played. We did the Conan O'Brien show, and then with Will Ferrell, he was the guest that night.
That was great.
He went into the whole Robert Goulet thing.
Who else was there? Who was there? Do we have our wives or girlfriends there, or we just had them shouted out?
Everybody.
Yeah.
And we put everything on the amps like our friends.
I think John Joseph was there too in the crowd.
That's right.
We had a lot of people
John
there,
Joseph.
man.
Yeah. And then we went literally straight from there to headlining Irving Plaza for the first time.
Wow, dude. Really?
Yeah.
Do we have a good show? Was it a good show?
I remember it being a good show, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So we headlined Irving Plaza that night. That's crazy.
We were doing a lot of record stores. So like we did that show. Crazy, like hanging out all till whatever 2 3 of them. And then we had like an early in-store record store show the very next day at Sam Goody on like 8th and Broadway, or 8th and 6th Avenue.
We performed in there?
That's right.
Oh my God, bro. I must have blocked that out.
Yeah. It was like 3 shows in like 12 hours or something like that. It was like a noon or 11 a.m.
Did people show up to see us there the next day?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I wish we some footage. I'm sure you got pictures of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild, dude.
We were doing a lot of those for the Go record and for the first record, but we didn't really do any for the Epitaph record. So I remember
that's interesting.
I remember we did a lot for the first record, like a tape store or something on Long Island. I remember we did for the first record.
Was it Looney Tunes maybe?
Yeah, that's right. That sounds.
And then we had the Underground Sound in Queens. My boy Tucci. That was a great. That was a great show.
Yeah.
There's some great photos.
That was great.
Still, yeah. Story of Queens. That was such a legendary
Story of Queens
record store show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun. What else? What else you have on there?
You
got any stories about recording with Brett Gurewitz at FTTW?
Yeah. So we were doing FTTW like fall, winter of '98, and then went into the studio with Mr. Brett January 1999. And it was the first time we really had done like professional, like not professional, but like every song 3 or 4 times, picking the best one, that kind of thing. This is kind of before Pro Tools.
Because we had Larry. And rest in peace, Larry.
Rest in peace, Larry. For the first 2. Yeah.
He did the first album, Thick in the Water, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
And where was that studio at for the first 2 records?
Real Studios right by the Holland Tunnel.
By the wetlands?
New York side.
Yeah.
Okay, right by wetlands. Yeah. Yep. And then he also did 2 Outcrowd records before that.
So that's how we found Larry, through you guys, correct?
That's how we found Larry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
like with Brett, with Mr. Brett, it was like we had done the whole record, we'd done all the recordings. And I remember him like pitching an idea to all of us about Guilty by Association with the repeating the last chorus one more time. So we ended up extending the last part of Guilty by Association.
Wow.
And he had me do like a snare floor tom hit. He's like, we're just going to repeat the chorus one more time. It was like something new for us. Like we'd always kind of.
It worked though.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It was kind of like we all looked at it like, oh shit, we didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Before that, it was like whatever we would write, we would just go and record as it is. But it was interesting hearing other people's perspectives on our songs and stuff too.
I mean, Brett Groth's going to fly out there in the middle of the winter and produce our record. He's going to produce the record. You know what I mean? Larry obviously knew what we sounded like. Also, he also had his. Yeah. I'm sure you kind of said the same things with us, but were you there when Freddie pulled up for Guilty? That was so sick.
That and Roger.
Yeah.
Roger.
Yeah. For New York City. Yeah. We did Tim Armstrong's part up in his studio in Cali.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because we did demos there for FTTW at Tim Armstrong's house.
We did like 4 or 5 songs there, like late summer, early fall, late summer.
And these are the demos that are coming out this year, and I'm on Bridge 9 for the 25th anniversary of TTW. We got demos, And I think I changed. I think the lyrics that people are going to hear when this come out, they're going to change. Because I said, "Crazy summer on tour was sick of it all," or something like that, right?
Yeah. We were kind of like ad-libbing some stuff too, but then like it definitely was different from the way it came out on the record.
But I think the way the lyrics came out too, it was about the time that I wasn't on tour with them. That's why I was like, that doesn't make sense. I'm hanging out with these guys. I'm not on tour. Yeah, it's interesting. I can't wait to hear that when it comes out.
I know.
Do you have a bunch of old DATs and like stuff of our recordings? Do you save stuff?
I have some stuff. That tape of that demos was like something I found during the pandemic when we weren't really going anywhere. I was like, oh shit, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
And I listened to it. It still sounded great. It was recorded, mic'd up. Everything was mic'd up. And I think you did your vocals somewhere else for that demo.
Oh, really?
You went to like a place in Chelsea, because some reason the vocals weren't.
For the FTTW demo?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You went somewhere like a couple blocks from where we were sharing that studio with rival schools.
Oh, yeah.
Sammy and Walter and Ian and all those guys.
Is it safe to say that I guess Walter helped us with the first demo? Because he came to Don Fury, Walter Schreifels, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was there. I don't know how that even happened, but yeah, that's kind of crazy. People know that the first 4-song demos. The first 6 songs recorded, because 4 on the demo and 2 on the 7-inch, That's pretty crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
I remember having those at the shows and selling those pretty fast, and then the 7-inch came out, and
Yep. Yeah.
But then
that was like
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I was just gonna say, adding on to the demos and stuff, because if for some reason the vocals weren't cutting through the demo what we wanted to give to Mr. Brett to check out, so you went to another studio to just kind of make them sound cleaner.
Wow.
And I can't remember if Todd and Rusty sang the backing vocals in the demo in the room while we were playing or with you. I can't remember, but they are
crazy,
on there too.
Dude.
Yeah.
I think that do you have any Axl Rose stories? Because for the listeners, we recorded the Go record at Rumbo Studios where Guns N' Roses had been working on Chinese Democracy for many, 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 many months, maybe years. I'm not sure.
Yeah, years.
And anytime Axl was going to pull up to the studio, they put an announcement over the speaker. They're like, "Did he see her? He's in the parking lot." Like people get all fucking crazy.
I know. I just remember watching football and not really saying anything to all of us, including Tim Armstrong.
Yeah, he was just in there. He had braids. He had like I remember the big high oxblood docks. He had like yellow sweatpants. I remember he was very surreal when I walked past him looking. I was like, he looked like a wax figure of himself. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
He's just in there watching football by himself, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Man. And then remember he was driving like some weird like some weird like pickup truck kind of SUV thing, but it wasn't flashy or fancy. It was just some basic truck. It was interesting, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we were there for like basically a month and a half.
Jeez, dude.
Because it was weird for us because we would go in and record the whole record in like 2 days, maybe 3 days.
Yeah.
And like with that record, we would record like maybe 1-2 songs a day. And we weren't used to that. So we were kind of just sitting around hanging out, and Axl Rose would come in and then like either watching TV or Judge Judy or something. And then like, but there was no words were exchanged between us. And he had someone with him too at all times.
I think it was I think it was his like, I don't know, man. If it was like somebody helped him out. Yeah, I know what it was. What it was. Yeah, always with him. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of made it awkward for us to like say anything because it wasn't a security guard, but it was like his assistant or.
I'm sure he would have been cool though. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Adam and somebody snuck into like his vocal booth. It was like all kinds of like roses. I'm not even joking, like flowers all inside of his singing booth and stuff, or in that studio or something. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. But you guys were staying at Oakwood Apartments, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were there for like 4 weeks, I think, and then they went back. Matt went back in and mixed that record when we were on tour with Face to Face.
Yeah, and this was like a dream producer for Utah because you love Faith No More, you love The Replacements. I don't know how Matt Wallace came even on our list of people to choose, or we even had a choice for him, but somehow we got him, and you were you were super stoked on that,
Yeah. He was really easy to work with, and like I think it was out of his like coming into our world. We didn't really know him, but he was super cool to work with.
Yeah, he was.
We became friends. We're still friends too.
Absolutely, and we would go to his house and stuff, and also like I think I wasn't sure if he was saying that time that he was kind of almost on the point of retirement because, but right after us, he got Maroon 5, and I think that changed his life, dude.
Oh yeah, hell yeah!
Remember that?
Yeah, he produced like This Love, which was like
This Love is taking control. Oh shit, that's crazy. After Us.
It was like After Us. Yeah, he did some other stuff too, and then he did the most recent Faith No More record. And he's always busy doing something, but yeah, it was like right at like 2002, which would have been a year after he was with us. Basically.
Yeah. And let's talk about the song. Let's talk about the record that nobody wants to talk about. We're just going to talk about real quick. Is the All We Want EP that came out after the Go record. That one of those songs, Scott Vogel told me is I think Scott Vogel told me Wrong is like one of his favorite songs. It's so hard to find that record, which I'm happy about. And it's very interesting. I don't know why that we had to spit out a 3 or 4 song EP, but who was the person, what band was that guy in that produced that record, to produce that?
So the production team was called Scrap 60.
Yes. Scrap
60. And basically the guitar player from Anthrax, and then he was with Volbeat for a while.
Huge band. Huge.
Rob Caggiano, I think.
Rob Caggiano, yes.
Rob Caggiano.
How did we connect with him?
I think that might have been Hans.
Okay.
I can't quite remember.
He was super cool. He went on to be in that band. That band was huge, bro.
Huge. Yeah.
Is he still in Anthrax?
He might be still with Volbeat.
Okay.
He might have just left or might still be. And then a couple of them are still active. Like I think the other guys from the team, one of them does like movies, background scores, music and stuff like that.
Where do we record that at with him?
We record that up in Nyack.
Wow.
Nyack, New York. Yeah.
So crazy.
Actually,
it's the most randomest shit thinking about it.
So that studio was called something like Great Mountain Studios.
Yeah.
And that studio like records like Mariah Carey's recorded there.
Wow.
Stuff like that, like huge pop stuff, and
that's
like
bonkers.
And then we came in.
Dude, I don't know what was up with the artwork, what was up with any of this thing. I don't know why the label wanted us to bump out some songs. That's like the record that like.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, enough of that.
Think about it. At that time, we were going on 7 years straight, tour recordings.
I know. What did you start getting into, like working with stage hands and all that behind the scenes roles and stuff? And we kind of had that hiatus for a while after the Go record. We toured, but like everybody, I was doing the Hayes and Todd, Juliet Lewis and Licks, Rusty Peanut Jewelry. Everybody's doing something.
Yeah,
that's when you started getting into working the Roseland, right, and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's when I started with that. So I was actually at Good Charlotte show at Roseland, just hanging out and hanging with Mark Holloway and my friend Anthony Peranzino was the technical coordinator there, and he knew we were off tour for a while. Like he kind of follows us. He follows us, and he's like, "What you been up to, man? You guys haven't done anything in a while." I was like, "Yeah, I'm getting married next year. Looking for something to do." He's like, "Come in Saturday, Slayer's playing." And that's kind of how that started.
Wow. And you really didn't know much about the behind the scenes stuff.
No.
I heard you did Lights from Madonna once or some shit.
Yeah. So
it's crazy, dude.
So she's at Roseland for like a week, rehearsing for a Hard Candy show, which was this new thing back then called live streaming concerts. That was like a new thing. And we had just done a tour. We just got back, and he's like, "Madonna's here. Like, come in Monday or something. Can you be here all week?" And I was like, "Sure." So like, it was like very intense rehearsals and dancing, and like that was on a Monday. Our show was on a Saturday. I snuck half to New York City into the show. Like,
that's incredible, dude.
Lisa, Freddie's wife, and Kristen, and a bunch of people there. It was like an endless like sneak people in.
That's sick.
And she played like 8 songs. Justin Timberlake came out, did 5 minutes. That song 5 minutes. It was like a big hit for a while. Justin Timberlake. And it was cool. It was the only time I seen Madonna. So I kind of like, I'm like, okay, cool. I got to see her play and rehearse and stuff. So that was like cool, seeing her. I never saw her before, so
that's cool.
But yeah, that was another. It was like I couldn't leave where I was. I was in a house light booth 8 hours a day. Damn. No Uber Eats back then, and she kept saying,
"Is it true you had a TV back there? You could watch The Simpsons."
We did.
That is so incredible, dude.
I had a drum set down there too.
Wow, you're fucking chilling, yeah.
What
are some other artists you had to work with at the Roseland and stuff?
Oh man, Motorhead, Velvet Revolver, Megadeth.
That's cool, man.
You name it. Like,
how about Prince? Did Prince come through your way?
Never saw Prince.
Yeah.
No, never saw Prince. I did J-Lo. Mark Anthony. That was like amazing salsa show, like one of the best shows I've ever seen, actually.
But nobody came through your area, like Heart or any of these bands that you love, or Daryl Hall. You get to work for any of these shows, or
no? So I worked with Daryl Hall and John Oates way later down at PNC.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
And I got the set list from the show.
Oh, that's great, dude. That's cool.
Because everybody knew I was like a huge Hall & Oates fan. And,
that's really cool.
Yeah, Bryan Adams was another one that was cool.
Wow.
But
you also love the Fix too. You like Friends with that drummer or something?
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
they came into town. So this is all pretty randomly, like Facebook stuff, but I had friended him just to see what they were up to, what he was up to, and he friended me back. So we played at a venue on, I think it was either Persistence or something like that.
Someone
and I
Europe,
posted a picture. Yeah, it was like Essen, the Magic Room or Machine Room or something like that. Essen, Germany. And he saw that and he responded like, "Oh, we played there before, blah, blah, blah." So we just started chatting and talking, and we were on the same labels with him a decade later or a decade and a half later.
That's crazy.
So we started chatting about the music business, and they came to New York City like 2018, 19, something like that. And they all invited me down. We hung out like till 3 a.m. And I was like, I'm done. I'm going home. They're like, oh, we're going to another party. I'm like, you guys are animals, man. You have a show tomorrow.
Jeez.
And they're like 10 years older than us, too. 10, 15
Rockers.
years older than us. Yeah, exactly. But they still sounded great. Like, still hits all the notes, and everybody sounds great. And it was like a fun night, too. It was fun.
Yeah. So yeah, for those years you were out there just working all different venues,
yeah,
scenes, learning all kinds of things, right? You could do everything now, right? You do everything. Do you know a bunch of different? You have different skill set now from working those venues.
I couldn't do sound or front of house or monitors.
Okay.
I could probably fake it with lights.
Yeah.
Fake it with lights, but
can you build a stage?
I could actually.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah, probably like.
You're more of a gear guy. You're like a gear guy. Can you do stuff with guitars and basses and stuff too, or just drums?
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
It's a drum.
I'm like a lost puppy with keyboards and guitars and amps and bass and stuff.
So you're doing other things, yeah.
Yeah. Like front of house is like a whole. Like I have some friends that do it, and it's just like a whole nother language, basically. Like there's when my friends are on like a sound chat. Like Mitz from Madball, he got into that. Mitz Daniels.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He got into that, and like it's like a whole nother realm, basically.
Yeah. So what is your current thing now? Is like you're working all the different drums that people can rent for like late night TV shows or venues, and you have like 30 different drum sets that you're kind of in charge of, and all different kinds, and you go and you set them up at these places, or you're just in charge of renting them out, or.
Yeah, basically, like they'll hit up my production company, and then they'll hand me what's going on for the next week or the next 2 weeks, and basically, like someone will come in to rehearse or just need something for like Saturday Night Live. I've done like 3 or 4 kits for that, but they'll need it. Some of them need this, like like a SVDX pad, which is like all samples. Stuff like that, or triggers, which we never dealt with any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we did one time on the 20th anniversary of the first record. I bought one of those out with me for the samples of the talking on the first record.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We did do the samples in between songs. That's really cool.
Hit it,
right, T.
And that was the first time I was like, "What is this thing?" Like, oh, you can put samples in there? No way,
We would do the talking in between shit. That was really cool.
Yeah. It was the first time I was ever introduced to that kind of stuff, but there's a lot of that, a lot of use stuff like that for like snare samples or like a boom, like a big beat, like a big bass sound, bass drum sound. But yeah, a lot of times it'll get sent out for like a show or like for stuff like for TV or there was something recently I did for this Detroit show with it was on NBC. It was with like Eminem and
you worked for that one with Jelly Roll and Eminem.
So I didn't go to that, but I did the stuff for that.
Oh, that's cool! Wow, I watched it. That was awesome.
It was cool, right? And Diana Ross sounded great.
Yeah.
She sounded great. Everybody sounded great.
So what did you do to prep for that? What did you have to do?
So I did a regular drum kit, and actually our friend Jay from American Standard had worked with that drummer before.
Okay.
So he was kind of giving me like an insight of what he might want or what he might need.
Was he the main drummer, the backline drummer for the whole show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And then there was a whole other percussion kit, which I had to learn a lot of stuff like that for
That's
like
cool, T.
timbales and congas and like certain specifications and sizes. Like, we didn't have any percussion on songs.
No.
So like that all came from what I was prepping, and that got sent out to that the train show.
That's cool.
It was like a new train, downtown train in Detroit. And so stuff like that, I'll get hit up for stuff like that, or I'll just get hit up like a guy needs a kick drum and a snare for like a jazz show, something like that.
Remember we almost had like horns because Rusty was so inspired by the Boss Tones, and he wanted us to use horns in Sacred Heart. Remember that?
That's right. And we even soundtracked it too.
Yeah, we did practice it. Oh my God! I think the Pie Tasters played with us. I'm not sure what it was though.
Yeah, it was on the Pie Taster's bus of the store.
Rusty was like, we should do a ska version of Sacred Heart. We're like, let's see, Rusty. Anything else?
Did they actually play that show with us?
Maybe. I don't know, dude. What are some
it
other notes you got in there?
It was definitely in the Southwest.
Yeah.
I don't think we dove into Blackout.
Oh yeah. What do you got for
Blackout
that?
Records. So Blackout, Anthony Carmen, this is pre-H2O, Anthony Killing Time. We've done some shows with Killing Time Outcrowd pre-H2O, and he hooked us up with them, and Bill put out 2 Outcrowd records. From there, we met with Bill, and we put our first H2O self-titled record out of Blackout in 1986. And, we're still friends with this Bill this day. And I don't think we dove into that last time, but
yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
I couldn't remember if we added that.
No, that's great. Yeah. Crazy T. You have such good memory. You have such good memory of all this stuff, man. It's so awesome. I was just thinking about you, like being maybe like hosting the punk rock museum and walking through that. I think you'd kill that, dude.
I think I could, especially for like Maryland, Baltimore, DC hardcore and some New York stuff.
Yeah, something specific like that. It'd be really awesome. Like,
yeah. Are you gonna do that?
Yeah, they asked me to do it a couple of times. I got to figure out getting to Vegas. I'm not a big fan of Vegas, but if I'm out that way, I want to do it. I've been talking to him about it. My brother did it. I've seen a lot of our friends did it. It seems. I heard it looks really cool.
Yeah, I do got to get out there. I haven't been out there in a while. Like, me and my wife Kristen, we got married there, but I haven't really been out there since 5, 6 years.
Cool, like we all did it because Todd lives out there. Like, if me and the whole band did try to get H2O to do a whole walkthrough out there, kind of sick, man.
I saw the picture of your mom pointing
with Dickie. My mom was there with Dickie, dude.
Yeah,
so sick. Yeah, I want to. Awesome. I think I'm gonna try to pitch that to them. To be honest, I think it'd be cool if we all did because I'm kind of to have all of us together. Be kind of cool,
That would be fun. Yeah.
Then we could play some songs and shit there. Yo, that'd be sick, T. Like the original lineup kind of be there. Yeah. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna actually hit them up tomorrow or something. But are you working today, T, or no?
No, today I'm just kind of chilling. I have to put so I was talking about last week when my cat has bladder stones.
Yeah.
So the vet was like, "You guys got to get a second litter box." So I have a second litter box, but we had something else that we had to take out. So I had to put like a bathroom counter together.
Damn, you building that today?
Yeah, I'm like halfway through it.
From IKEA or something or no?
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It's like 30 steps in, and I'm only like step 10.
I need a picture after you're all done.
Oh my god, it's in like 3 different. I fucked it up too because like I put the door piece on the bottom or on the top when it should have been on the bottom. That shit
always happens with IKEA shit. Are you good at building shit? Are you a handyman?
Nah, not really. I mean, I did 20 years ago when I first got married, but
yeah.
It's a pain in the ass. It's like I'm already like 2 hours into it. I'm only step 10.
I can't do that. I have no attention span for that shit, bro. Oh my god,
dude! Bro. I literally was like telling Kristen like the one that we liked was like when you have to put together. I'm like, let's look for something that's already put together.
There's an app called TaskRabbit you can get.
Yeah.
And you can and you punch in what you want to do, and they'll come to your house and do that for you.
Oh wow,
it's crazy. I've never done it, but I heard it's crazy, dude.
Dude,
there's an app for everything, though.
I know. I saw like an app for like plants. Like you can scan the plant that you have in your house, and it'll tell you what's wrong with it.
No way, dude. I wish we could have an app to scan our bodies and see what's wrong with them. Scan your face, everything. Dude. There's gonna be something like that in the future for sure. You hold your phone up to your face, or like your finger, or something bump on your hand. Oh my god, that's gonna be crazy, man. It's coming. All that shit's coming.
AI shit, man. It's crazy. It's already getting kind of weird, actually.
It is. Well, thanks for your time. Joe's gonna kill me for having a 43 phone call. We don't care. Okay, we'll put an end to the podcast. Yeah, I did a 5K yesterday with Travis and a bunch of people at the Blink show. It was amazing. I'm exhausted. Then I went home, and then I came back to the show last night. It was great, but I might be out there for the New York one. I'll keep you posted. But yeah, it was really, it was really fun, and awesome. It was cool. Like over almost 1,000 people showed up. It was really awesome. Yeah, man. I ran with a bunch of friends. Max killed it. Max killed it. Awesome. Yeah, dude. Have you been running or anything, or no? Running or walking?
Doing a lot of walking. Like I try to walk a couple miles. Dude. I walk a couple miles a day. Yeah, I'm always on my feet.
It's great.
Actually.
Walking's so good for you too, man.
Yeah.
I'll probably walk it out a little bit today just because I want to stretch, but I woke up late. I went to bed late. Went to that show. I was just like shot, man. But
yeah, I could remember in your text if it was 1 o'clock your time or my time.
I know.
I was like, I think 1 o'clock, but I don't know if it's mine or your 1 o'clock. But it's all good.
I give Joe Vasion a shout out because he hates the phone call pods.
Hi, Joe.
But he loves you, so he'll love this one.
love you, Joe.
Well, happy birthday, dude. Have a great birthday today.
Thanks, bud.
Eat some cake for me, and I'll see you. Maybe I'll see you in a couple weeks in City Field. You gonna go to that show or work that show or no?
Probably not work it, but I might go check it out. I have some friends that are working. They're trying to get me out. So I came out to the one in Barclays Center last year. I was at that one.
I know we forgot more shit, but we'll do another one in person next time.
We'll do another one. Yeah.
You have so many stories though. I love all the stuff you remember, dude. Because I remember shit, but
I know.
I don't remember what you talked about today. I was like, wow, dude.
Yeah, I was like writing down some stuff earlier, like trying to remember some stuff, and then the whole thing with the record stores and the whole time when Go came out,
crazy,
and like
dude.
The Conan and the in stores. We did like a Philly in store too.
I remember our first album was in Tower Records window. That was pretty sick achievement.
Yeah,
the big record cover in the front. That was sick.
I miss that place.
I'm sure you're gonna remember some more. Yeah, I miss Tower Records too. I love that shit.
Yeah.
The one out here turned into the Supreme store. It's kind of crazy.
Oh wow.
But mad love to you, T. I love you, brother. Have a great birthday. Give my love to Kristen, your cats.
Thanks.
And,
thanks, man. You too. Give my love to Max too.
I will. I'll speak to you soon, brother. Bye, T. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. I have a code. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art Pico-Way laser technology. Cryo-technology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out.